Triviality.
Oh, this app is amazing. Filmic Pro.
We're on. We're live.
All right.
Calling all deviants.
Nathan.
Yeah.
This
Nathan.
little cow call.
Oh, what's up? Cat calling it.
Oh. And Ryan.
And Ryan.
Hello.
What are you guys talking about over there? Boring shit. Boring shit? Then why are you talking during our podcast about some boring ass shit?
We just. I like a little noise in the beginning. It makes me feel,
I like how they
comfortable.
ignore me and just continue on with the conversation. That's awesome. The
In your-
peanut gallery
in
over
your
there. We do need a
face.
camera.
In
You're
your
right.
face.
We do need a camera. Yeah.
Couch cam.
Yeah.
Couch
The
cam.
couch
Couch
cam.
cam. Oh, TM.
I mean, it's cool. It's not
Hashtag.
like you guys can't talk, but I mean, it'd be nice if you're involved in our conversation.
I like even just dropping in, just like highlight of your conversation. This just in,
Yeah.
and then drop
Yeah.
it on us, and then create more content and bring it back to us.
Handed
Yeah,
news.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
If we ever hit any
Spicy.
lulls, we should go to the guys on the couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, correspondence and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what's going
So
on.
what do you
with
guys
that.
think?
we
Yeah.
have 3 or 4
should we
consecutive
just start
us.
with them? We need a couch mic. I didn't set that up. We have plenty of mics too. I
We have
should've
plenty of
done it.
cameras as well too.
Too late.
We're learning on the fly.
Yeah,
That's
we
it
are
right
learning
there.
on the fly.
We're just coming up with
Episode
like, ideas
26,
like
you
that.
called it,
Yeah.
I believe. No. Is this 26?
or 62? But I think you said
Oh, God,
26.
now you're fucking
36.
It's 20. Yeah, I think last night was 25, and
And this
tonight
is history
20
of Valley
26.
Underground, or is this like at a certain like
This is the-
after
the
a year?
The
We get
reboot.
2018, 17.
Yeah,
2017?
2017, 2018.
Did we start doing this in 2016? Like the end of.
No, we started in
2016?
2017, I believe.
But in the 2017, I remember at the start of the year, we did an episode with Matt Robinson about movies.
Oh, that's right.
And that was like number 6, 7.
Yeah,
or
that was a
something
good
like
one.
that.
So are you counting
That's
number
fun.
1 back in 2009?
No, that's
Nope.
what he's saying
Okay.
from the
No.
Okay.
2016. No,
Yeah.
that was 16 or 17 reboot of the Valley Underground.
Right.
Alright.
They weren't
Mhm.
numbered back then.
Yeah.
Now they're
That was-
numbered.
Yeah.
There were 6 episodes. The original.
Well, there's no like platform for podcast. It wasn't really like a framed
Yeah,
thing.
we were
Now there's
making
kind of
shit
a
up.
standard. And
But see, I was
Yeah.
telling these guys a
Yeah, you're
couple
totally right.
podcasts ago that I used to talk to Joe Rogan when he would stream before, I talked to him once, but he would, before he went to do his stand-up, he would log onto his laptop and broadcast on Ustream. And that's part of what gave me the idea to do that shit out there with you guys.
yeah, that was the early
You know.
days. I liked it.
And then,
We had the ability. I always thought of it as Wayne's World.
yeah,
Like
it was fun.
it was public broadcasting, but yeah, the live
Right.
streaming now being such a every app has a live stream.
It's the norm now.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, but you got to pay for a lot of that stuff.
Like
the
on Ustream,
upstream.
I have not gone to Ustream and
Well,
all that stuff nowadays. Like it's like
Their
MySpace
producer,
to me.
you have to pay for their producer. We're using OBS, free open broadcast software. Yeah, so it's like open source software. It's pretty good, dude. The thing that's comparable to this would be Wirecast, and that's like $700, dude.
Yeah. If you want to be on the
Yeah.
path of successful, when you say a plug like that, you have to say, "There's a link in the description below." And
No, I'm not gonna
it's just,
link
it's
all
just
this
box
you have to remember.
Yeah,
you have
no,
to
click
say
there.
too. This
Hard
is just
deal.
YouTube 101. You have to constantly say, "Please like and share." And subscribe if you haven't. Link down
No,
below.
I don't have
These
to
are
do
these are classics.
shit.
These are the classic terms.
All right,
do nothing
Twitter
I don't
handles.
wanna
Let's
do.
go.
There's-
you
Start from
wouldn't
the
take
left
a
to the right.
sponsor if you had to do their.
I would take a
at me.
sponsor, but if I said some shit they didn't like and wanted to pull out, I'd be like, all right.
Well, hopefully they would know what you're into
Yeah.
saying and know
Yeah.
that you don't really hold your
Like,
tongue.
but
Coffee
if someone
mugs.
who watched the show said like, "Oh, I don't like you,"
Uh.
and gave me a good point on why whatever I said sucked really bad, I mean, I fuck up and say stuff all the time. Especially when you talk a lot, you know what I mean? You're gonna say something that's kind of stupid.
But that's why people come to podcasts because
Mhm.
it's unfiltered, And I think advertisement companies know that.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean,
And even
right
if you
now,
got like local sponsors, that'd be cool.
I would like it. Yeah. What are we picking them up? They're all over our shit.
All
Yeah.
they want
Peanut
though always
gallery.
incentive is
Yeah.
it's a number game, and that's where this is why this is still good and organic. These are organic fans that come from people can easily
Right.
become Instagram famous because they start buying the people and the bots and stuff, which do
Right.
find real looking people, but
But then you start
You
doing
purchase
what
it
you
to-
think the people want to see. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
yeah,
that's
but isn't
not,
that too easy? Like, I mean, sex always sells. I mean, that's what they
Yeah,
want to see
well.
in a way, you know. But you're trying to target demographic.
right? Well,
you
this is
know?
probably
Same with the
for
sponsor. You would
artists and
acquire a
this is
sponsor
probably
of
more
somebody
for
close to what
artists.
you do.
I hope you're not suggesting we all have sex.
No,
No,
no, I'm
that's
just
not-
saying. I mean, if you're really trying to make those
It's a
numbers and you're
hardcore
trying
sausage
to,
fest
that's
in
an
here
easy
right now.
one.
There's no
That's
way
an
that's
easy
gonna
one.
happen.
If you had a chick walk through here, you would like just walk right
Just
behind.
random, or just standing, or
But
just
the
sitting
like
right
round
between
one,
cardi girl?
bikini
yeah,
clad chick
it
in
sells.
between me and Dante.
So
But no, like I was.
Token high.
I know I wasn't really trying to explain.
No, this
that.
show is probably for artists and musicians. You know what I mean? And like the people that are gonna watch it are
Art
interested
farts.
in that. You know, in one form or another. But you know, like shows are kind of dying, dude. It's hard to get people to go to shows. And this is a concert that anyone can watch
Oh,
anytime they
how
want.
amazing would it be if this
Yeah.
was VR eventually?
Yeah.
Whoa, VR
Virtual-
podcast.
Yeah,
You
that'd
can
be
hang
awesome.
out
Like
with
you
us?
had a spot
Right.
at the table, like
Well-
millions of people, but they all sat right there.
Right.
There's still something to the live show,
Great
man.
idea.
I was kind of reinstilled in my faith in the youth of the area when we
Oh.
played a couple shows and there was actually a good
Having
turnout.
the last
Yeah.
shows we had probably did in the other band, not having people, and then you went to the first show and it had a couple of
They were all
people
young
and they were
kids.
young people. Yeah, that was
Like,
pretty cool.
Fresh out of high school, and they're into going to parties and hanging out and listening to live music, and that's pretty cool. I thought that was dead.
Right. Well, we've been focusing a lot on musicians, just because that's what me and Dante are, you know.
Mhm.
But I want to get some of the MMA fighters in here. We had one scheduled, but he flaked out.
Like a local guy.
Yeah, local guy, motherfucker. That was a good podcast. We did that. That was Adrian's night, huh? Adrian's first podcast.
Mm.
And then, yeah, only one guy from Curse showed up last night. We got both you guys.
Yeah,
This is awesome. We got the full.
Alright.
this is a
band.
full band, so I mean,
It's amazing. I love what you guys are doing.
yeah, that was it's energy. I like that.
It is. It's fucking amazing. So what are you guys doing?
I don't know
What
what
you
to
guys
do with my
doing?
hands.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know?
That was supposed to come up more organically, I thought, but
Was it? That was pretty organic.
no, you know,
Yeah, we were a little unprepared.
yeah,
Oh,
We got a
were-
little too stoned. But
you know,
Oh well,
We were
we're
working
not done
on
yet, are we? What
Please
happened to
don't.
it?
fucking.
Yeah.
onto it.
we had like a grip of good songs that we really like, and we were working on some other cover songs and stuff. And I've been putting out the calls because you know I just didn't want to waste time. I've done a lot of other shows already,
Right.
so I'm going with either it's a house show or a huge show, like kind of
Right.
cutting out some in between maybes and just kind of YOLOing it, you know.
Right.
So of course that's been backfiring because nobody's like they're laughing me off. I've been trying to keep it really quiet with I haven't put like my stuff out to my friends and family. Those
Right.
are easy likes.
Right.
And I've been trying to do the shows, and I save the promos and stuff for
Right. Have you showed anybody those recordings though?
only people that I'm going to work with. Or if we talk about a show, I'm going to give it
Right.
to you really fast.
Right.
But I have not shared it to the masses. My,
Well,
however
you should,
friends I
you
have.
know, consider sharing it to like people who review music and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's an
I
outlet
I
for
hate
sure.
It's
reviews,
really
though.
good. Huh?
I hate reviews. I mean, maybe for the publicity,
Right.
it might be a good idea.
It-
If it's if somebody actually goes,
actually-
keeping it
Like,
how many people
exclusive,
really
I
read
would do
reviews
it,
on
yeah.
bands?
But
I don't-
every instance of
that's
your
right.
name
Reviews on
showing
bands.
up on
Do
the
you?
internet is good for you.
Yeah.
Because it kind of keeps you in the system. You
I'm
know?
trying,
It's,
and I think the only
search
way it
results
really
and all that
counts is
shit.
like live. You know,
What?
it's the biggest payoff for us. The hours that we're spending at home when you're working on it. You know, I'd love to have a great recording eventually, but when you're working on shit for hours, the payoff is the 25 minutes, 15 minutes in front of people, the
Where
drives.
did you guys record
all that shit.
Just in
The
your
last
house?
one we did was in San Jose.
at the district.
District
Oh, all right.
recording. So we worked with Adam Age, the singer of the Adam Age. He
Okay.
runs that studio.
Right.
And
Oh, cool.
we've been working with that guy, his band for a long time, and
Actually killed it for a 2-day deal. It was a lot to work on for
How many songs did you do?
5, right?
yeah.
Yeah, 5
And I only
songs.
put 2 songs. Like when I show people, I kind of do like the 2 that are like.
It needs to be
Right.
remastered, man. Like the quality's there, but he even told us. He said I'd recommend getting it.
But the
Give it
music's
to
there.
him.
It's the music. The
Yeah,
music's there. Quality
you
really
know,
is secondary if it's
It,
good.
I feel
music.
like it's just asking
I
so much.
agree.
Like I
Yeah.
said, the hours that we're putting in at home all the time, you just want it to be so fucking good. And to try to put
Yeah.
the hours of work into 2 days, it's still really hard. 5 songs. If I was smarter, we would have did 2. We
It's-
would have just
it's-
did the 2
it's-
and did some
But we
bells
were-
and whistles.
I think we were talking about it earlier. Being dissatisfied
Yeah.
Well,
good.
it's
It's what keeps
hard
you
to put
going.
yourself
You wanna do
up
better next
against
time.
people who have unlimited money when they do their recordings.
Spend
Yeah.
weeks in the
You
studio.
know, or
we don't have
just
that luxury.
chunk of money.
Yeah.
Well,
You know
we
what
had
I
to
mean?
save up just to get the whatever it was.
Yeah, like up to the
800,
last minute and
400.
shit.
It was
And
400 something. I don't know if we should say that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he,
Oh.
yeah, I don't know, but
Sorry.
it was really cool. I like that he kept it really exclusive. I'm just kind of in the exclusive thing. Everybody it's just so flooded all the time. So kind of keeping things secretive and exclusive, keep it special to the people who might actually like it, you know, and it does start at
Yeah.
home a little bit.
Yeah, I'd always prefer
The smart
infamy over
plan,
fame.
right? Find the thing that they always want to know about bands is like, who do you sound like? And so
Right.
we kind of I've been trying to like leech onto those big shows because they come to Strummers a lot. Strummers has
What
like
do
the
you,
best
What do you
bands.
throw at them when they ask you that?
I give them just the Bandcamp. I try to give them just that, and then we don't really have too much footage from shows. It would be in my Instagram. I have that footage.
Right.
But I didn't want to take every step that the band. You come up with the songs, you do the demo, you say you don't sound like anybody else. I don't know. I've been doing the same things for fucking years,
Well, I
and
hear
now
some
more
at
than
the
ever, it
drive-in
doesn't
in there.
matter.
I hear some at the drive-in.
That's a huge reference.
We've
Yeah.
gotten that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't
So-
intend that. In fact, like
whatever.
I don't know. I wasn't even
It's
really
not a
listening to
bad
music
reference.
when we.
It just
People
happens
would say
sometimes.
like, "What are your influences?" And I'd say 311, and none of our bands ever sounded like 311. I'd always say that 311's an influence. Limp Bizkit, no
Right.
lie, but it don't
Right.
sound like it. They want to know what you sound like, what they can sell on. If anybody gives a shit, they're gonna probably get something out of it, or a
Right.
fan, which you're always going for. But
I don't really like that question. What does your band sound like?
yeah, I know that's the answer.
Well,
though.
it's always
you
good
do
to
need
define
people.
your
You need
band
hashtags
so
With a genre.
nobody else
Hash-
does.
at the
Because if
drive-in.
you don't
At
define
the
your
drive-in.
band, somebody else will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, at some point, we have to talk about music in order to like get other people into your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
I don't want to like go around harassing people. Like, hey, check out my shit in the fucking.
No, yeah,
parking
you
lot
don't
of the
do
grocery
that.
store.
It's
You
just
don't have to
putting
do
I
that.
know you're not
it.
suggesting that.
It's putting it in their
yeah.
path in a clever way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
And
I
so-
think that's what I'm trying to emphasize is like trying to be more clever than ever because if I give the same effort that the same steps I've done that have yet to be successful, I
Right.
have some pretty good shit on the resume with like Battle
Right.
of the Bands. And
Well,
this
we have
or
a
that.
potential step here.
yeah,
You know, because if this episode comes out good enough, you guys are going to be like, "Hey, my new band was on this Valley Underground podcast."
well,
You know
and
what
I don't
mean?
know
Or
what
you can even,
success
like,
in the
you
music
can-
industry is
You
now.
you could hype our show. Be like, "Hey, I was on the Valley Underground podcast." You know, and make your
Cross-networking.
band secondary. But then people are going, "Wait, you have a new band?"
Yeah, well, I
know
kind
what
of
I
do
mean?
that too. Like
Yeah.
I'm a director, and I use my band's music in those movies, and so there's always it's a universe that I'm
Mm-hmm. That's
trying to
good.
create
So you're
the
making
universe.
films too, or what?
I try to just do everything, and I try to say that it's really important. So I'll paint trolls,
All right.
but with like rock influences, and I'm like, I want to sell that for $100, and then I'll do tattoos. And if I were to tattoo, I'd say that's special,
Right.
and I should charge you more for that. But it's all in the same, all coming from the same platform,
Well,
you know.
I'm
and
pretty
then
sure
the
I
band.
can find you a Sharpie
If I come
you
to your
wanna-
house to play, it's supposed to be
So.
kind of special, and
Yeah.
I try to
whoa,
we
this
try
is
to
super
I try to leave myself there,
Right.
you know, leave that shit on the floor, the
Right.
soul.
Well, I think you guys did that today. That
Yeah.
was awesome. You were sweating your fucking ass off.
Yeah,
Get
I
some
wish
women here.
Well, yeah.
and I shouldn't have dressed
Not
in the
summertime
suit.
yet.
Oh, I know.
That was a
We're-
bad
we're-
choice.
We'll be addressing
That was a
the-
terrible
yeah.
choice
We're gonna
today.
finish off the
maybe
ceiling and
in comfort, but it looks.
Yeah, yeah,
address
Awesome.
the
yeah.
tin-
I
tin
liked
roof.
the footage. It was looking great.
It's official.
Yeah, it is though. I like it. I want to try to do some mural type stuff.
I love the ode to the Dr. Howard Larson.
Oh yeah,
Like, I
that's
feel like
old man.
His
Yeah,
presence is probably still here.
yeah. His
Like, if you're
mom.
into that fucking kind of
His
thing.
mom. He died. He was 96 years old, and his mom was murdered in my apartment. Unsolved murder. Yeah.
Shit.
Wow.
Right.
Whoa.
So-
Have you had? Is it
The old
clean
Valley
spirit-
Underground
clean
looking.
vibe in there?
Always cool, dude. Always cool.
That is good.
Yeah, I'd never really, I did have one weird experience with my wife when she was pregnant, right? And we were sitting on the couch watching TV, and I see movement in the hallway, right? Because TV's right in front of me, and the hallway is just to the right, right? So I see movement, and I look over, and there's a little fucking, Italian-looking kid wearing, like, a little schoolboy outfit, shorts and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look at her, and she's looking at him too. And then she looks at me, and then we both look back, and walked into the fucking bedroom, and I was like, "Did you see a little?" She goes, "Yeah," and I got up and walked into the bedroom, and there was
crazy.
nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
What?
Most bizarre experience.
A little Italian boy?
Yeah.
A little Italian
Little
boy.
Italian boy.
What did he say anything?
Nope. Just looked at us. He fucking walked in the hallway, looked at us, stood there until we both looked at him.
Was he wearing spaghetti and meatballs? How did you know he was Italian? You just tell? He had that hairy look, that big old nose.
Well, not all. No, he was an ethnic.
Oh,
Little
okay.
ethnic boy.
All right.
Could have been. Well, he wasn't black or white.
Oh.
Didn't
Oh.
look Mexican.
He asked him for his green card, and
Yeah, I mean,
He instantly vanished.
just a little. The way that his suit was, it seemed like a Italian kid, little Italian kid,
Dang.
because it was very formal.
Your
school.
house looks pretty old, you know, but
Yeah,
but
it's
you know,
pre-1900, dude.
really,
Mm-hmm.
because like Merced, I'm sure has some fucking history,
Yeah.
you know.
I think 1890, around 1880, there used to be a church there, and the church burnt down.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm surprised you have not
Right.
had way
This
more
is an
ghost
awesome place.
experiences.
yeah.
I'm surprised you have not had a lot more ghostly experience.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't no Indian burial grounds.
so
Yeah.
you're a
So-
believer.
No,
No, you're
No.
not. You don't know what it is. You're just not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
what happened.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I just know
that's a
that
good way
we-
to look at it, because you
Yeah.
can't say it's dead people who've passed on. You don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
No.
You don't know what the fuck's
No.
happening.
Yeah, there's no.
I just feel like
yeah.
if you can kind of welcome in. I don't know if I don't really go too deep into heaven and hell, but for some reason I do believe that demons would make a essence. Enough bad stuff will create a demon.
well, I know
door to
demons
open,
I
right?
know demons.
But if demons are there, that
exist.
there's some kind of angels. There's got to
I
be
know
like
that.
counterbalance to the
What
whole
are we watching?
thing. But energy, I feel, is bad.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? What is this? Is this like your kids or something?
Looks foreign.
Ghost encounters? I guess. Let's see it.
I have
Are
really.
those kids not really there? Because that's like what the kid that I saw was like there. It wasn't a wisp of light, like yeah, it was
Well,
there. It was
No, yeah,
trippy.
I
Our
believe
local
you.
tattoo shop. It was just a coffee shop not that long ago. Now it's a tattoo shop, and he just recently he put in his video cameras, and he had so much spirit activity on there. Like
Weird.
for a week, he was posting everything going on, going up to the camera, watching orbs, go into the like running away from him. They said that you're watching them on camera while he's tattooing somebody, look at a shadow, and they're like correlating with the cameras. You can read it all.
Well, it's just yeah. I mean, I have
This is the
I
two.
have security cameras in my house too.
But you
and I-
acknowledge that something happened. You saw
Yeah.
something.
It was something weird, and it seemed like an actual person. I got up and looked him. I expected to find a little boy.
Do
in
you
my
think
room,
that
like,
that
"What
was
the fuck you doing?"
intentional? Do you think the ghost was slipping, or do you think the ghost
know if it
wanted
was a
you
ghost.
to
I-
see
you
them?
know.
Even calling it a ghost. Like, what is
Yeah.
a ghost?
Well, what is a ghost?
What if an old Italian man with with children's clothes on just walks out of your house one day?
Italian Angus Young.
I know, like that guy right there.
Oh yeah, what is it?
That's him all grown up.
Oh yeah,
he didn't really have a good
some
life.
guy walking
Take
across
a
the
closer
street.
look.
Spent way too much time in the sun.
Ghost World TV.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't
No,
know.
for real though, like that's what
terrible.
I've
That's
no, that's
shirtless
what
dude.
I
Yeah, that's
kind of
a
seen.
horrible
I was
street.
like, in real life, I've kind of seen
That's some
that
of the
kind of
worst
stuff on
Photoshop
that
I've
stuff.
ever
I'm like,
seen.
holy crap.
Yeah, you just double the figure and make him really opaque, and then darken him out, and then offset him. It's really super
It's
easy.
weird. You're like,
I
you're
don't know
a
what you
terrible
guys are
ghost.
talking about. I'm spooked out.
There's like a black cloud over him. It could be
No, the guy
I
that
was
we're
scared.
maybe a smog, but
yeah, maybe he's just a sad motherfucker, dude. That's the dark cloud finding him around, following him around.
And the camera just was able to
This
pick it
one's
up.
bullshit too. You can
see,
tell.
blame paranormal activity because everything looks like a movie.
But there's all kind of
with paranormal
energies
activity.
floating around, you know, that
Ah.
you just, I mean, to say it's like encounters with dead people, that's just a
Mhm.
little
Mhm.
too conclusive. And
You ever had what's that called? Sleep paralysis.
Oh,
no,
I-
not really.
Is
I-
that the,
I
where
know
you
people
stop
that have.
breathing or like die? You
No,
stop
it's
breathing.
where you wake up and like you have an experience, like you feel like somebody's on top of you or fucking like yeah, can't move, and you're wide awake and like weird shit happens. I had it one time and I could like feel myself being pressed into the mattress, but I couldn't fucking move and I could hear the springs in the mattress compressing. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I couldn't move or anything. It's probably just that weird state of mind in between sleep and awake.
Right. Well, I mean, I've had like,
fucking sleep is
It's like
weird.
a drug, man.
Sleep
well,
is
they
weird.
know that
Not just dreams, it's
DMT is
sleep.
produced in your brain, and it's attributed to lucid dreams and shit like that. Maybe that's what it is. You're like you're coming back from that weird fucking acid trip. Dream.
I heard that there's only 2 times that
Overload.
DMT is actually produced in your life, and that's
Death
at your
and birth.
birth and death. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was
What? You came out
these are
high?
theories. I
Well, you
don't know.
thought you knew
Right.
fucking weed,
Don't
and
know
we
what
still
I'm talking
figure
about.
shit out about weed all
Well,
the time
and,
too.
and then so like when
Well-
you take DMT, right? So DMT is the chemical that's produced that creates the gateway for you to enter your body and to leave your body. Is what
That's
they're
what
saying.
it feels like.
there,
yeah.
see, this is the one you
And
need
so
to get to
when
the
you-
university
When you
kids.
take
They'd be
DMT, you're
pissed.
actually going through the gateway.
Whoa.
No, it does feel like going through a portal.
Hmm.
It really does.
Yeah, I've never taken it, but it's just
The
from
weird thing about it is everybody has similar experiences.
yeah,
Like how can you
That's
explain
bizarre.
that?
right.
Well, like
Yeah.
everybody feels falling when they're in their sleep. Like everybody's had a falling incident
Mhm.
when they're sleeping.
You fall and you wake up. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I've,
Oh yeah, I've had falling.
I come off of swings and buildings every once in a while.
Dude, I was doing this weird thing where I'd like punch myself in the face for no fucking reason. Like I'd have my arm like straight up, all weird, and then I'd just kind of like slam it down. And I don't know what was
Well,
going
I've
on.
woken up and thought I was laying on my back when I was laying on my stomach. I tried to raise my head.
That's,
was- yeah.
seems like it
I'll
throws
just
everything upside down.
disoriented.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was in my youth. More drugs than I'd like to admit.
Yeah,
But
right.
sleep is just fucking weird. Like I don't know. And then dreams are weird. So those two things together, it's just fucking. I don't
It's
know.
weird
What
that
a
you
time to
can
be taken
charge your own
advantage of.
batteries just by like turning off for a little.
Yeah.
while.
That is weird.
We'd be way more.
It's weird that
efficient.
that's required for us to think
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
To sleep, to shut off, that's actually a requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll lose
Like,
your shit if
Sometimes eating is even kind of a fucking task I don't want to
Yeah.
do sometimes, and
Right.
it's such a necessary.
Well,
It'd
have
be
you ever
nice
really been deprived sleep? It makes you fucking weird, dude.
you. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Life gets really strange.
Oh, I know.
It's kind of like in smoking weed too, like just a huge fog of just tiredness. Like you're moving, you're seeing things, but like just
It's
you're not going to
autopilot.
remember this
Yeah,
or something. I don't know. It's a weird fog.
yeah.
I get too sleepy. I would never know what that feels like to just like sleep deprive yourself for like 2 days or something. I've got to
It's
go
work.
to sleep.
When nobody would deprive themselves of sleep. It was work for me, like obligation to have to go to 2 jobs,
Right.
sleep in my car for like 30 minutes. Well, and that's what's crazy is you can sleep for 30 minutes
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
it'd be
and just
fine.
keep going.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
pulled that shit off because I've had jobs where I've worked like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
A lot of people do it all the time,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
Have you-
16-hour shift jobs.
Like ever looked into sleep cycles, like different sleep cycles that you can go into, like 8 hours a day is the most popular one,
then
but also you can do
Like 10-minute
Oh,
naps,
what was that other
15 and
one where you
20
sleep, like,
minutes all
2
have
hours?
different.
It was like a bunch of
Yeah, the
inventors and
Ubermensch, like sleep
legends
cycle.
in history. Yeah, it's something
Yeah.
weird. There's some weird name for it, but
Yeah, you sleep 2 hours a day by
Yeah.
taking 20-minute naps 6 times a day.
that's exactly it.
See, that's
Whoa.
weird.
And then
I
like
couldn't hang.
some
I would-
countries
It takes a long
embrace
time to adjust to
siesta,
it, but
right?
apparently when you adjust
Daytime
to it, you're
nap.
way more efficient.
Oh,
Really?
that's what
Like
that
in,
is?
in
I don't know.
Spain
I
or
kinda call
something, and
bullshit
then,
on that.
or
I don't
maybe
know
in
anybody
Europe,
Right.
that
Europe or
really
something. I don't
does
know.
it.
I've heard that
Yeah.
before.
I like to
Thought-
go about 4 hours
Like
at
a
night.
afternoon nap.
You're good on 4 hours.
It's
Mm.
embraced.
Yeah, and then ideally, if I could take a 2-hour nap during the day, it'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a lion.
I've kind of been forced to be
Nice.
on that schedule, man. I can't fucking sleep. I just
Yeah.
got a new job, and it's just got me all fucked up because
Yeah.
I'm a night walker, man.
Oh, right. Where are you working at? You
Um,
want to say?
yeah, it's just fucking water delivery place.
see, that's the
and-
thing. How cool are you if you're talking about your band and everybody knows you do Joe Schmo shit? I'd rather, you paint the picture that you're fucking rock starring all the time, you
Oh, did
know?
I just ruin the image?
No.
Oh.
No,
Well,
no.
I
This
don't
is
know
the
how
things
that
that I'm
people are gonna
emphasizing. Like this time around with this
see this.
band, it's like, there's a lot of emphasis not always on the music.
Yeah. Well,
Then
like
It's the sell approach and the promo and how do you get people to kind of care, like, give you 5 minutes, might like you without the music, They
Right.
just like fangirl shit, That's that's a terrible. I don't want fangirls, but girls,
Oh, I
right?
do.
New kids on the block music probably sucks, but then you got girls who still put their fucking pictures in it, even though their
Right.
music sucks. They just people can become obsessed with people's TV shows or their bands or
Yeah,
just
I
people.
know. That's why they're called fanatics.
Yeah.
Fans,
Yeah.
know?
And
Yeah,
that's
they-
what you want. You want real ones. You don't want bots, and you don't want.
No.
They love family support. It's always cool, like, because they always come through and shit.
Right,
but
but
you
but
wanna
the
change some
chances of
people's
people
lives.
just stumbling across your stuff is pretty rare.
We're gonna go to
So you gotta.
You got to really put it
across
out there,
country
which
on
we
our
haven't
own
done at all.
Yeah,
own
it-
budget.
There's
I'd
no-
love people
I don't
there.
think we have a link
Mm.
to give
Yeah.
you guys to direct us to direct anybody to find our shit, which
Oh, I
we
got
need to
two.
put something out
I
there.
got 2 songs.
We need to
Yeah.
quit fucking around and put some shit out there. Make a music video or
Yeah, I've been
something.
sharing. Well, not sharing, just showing everyone. Like, hey, here we are.
You know,
This
we,
is the
we, we
guys.
talk about the videos and stuff, and
Yeah.
like we have some of the songs we've been writing. Like the moment we started writing it, we kind of complemented the music, the lyrics of the song, to visuals that were going to be with it.
Oh, okay.
So like just it's simple, sweet story, like a bank robber who's going to rob a bank. You know, there's a lot of build up to him robbing a bank, and maybe he robs them with nothing that's actually he robs them more with fear as opposed to loaded weapon or something like that.
Right.
And then this music kind of just turned into somebody who's been on his trail for a little bit, and they're gonna kill him maybe at the end. But the whole time we've been trying to write the song, we've been writing it a little too long. But it's like 3
whatever.
jam sections. It's in essence, it's a short punk song, a minute long. But we gave ourselves like 3 different jam sections to stretch out a set.
Wow.
You know,
Right.
and make the music just exciting and all that. But visually, we talked about it like almost every single step of the way. It's like, oh, this is what's happening in the video now with the song, so we need to break it down and shit.
Right.
it's
that's
actually
cool.
kind of a fun way to write music.
Right. I like to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun to conceptualize an album that way. You know, just pure
Yeah.
visuals all the way through.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a video for everything, but just to
Well, it'd
I
be
don't know.
nice to have
It's
that
like a
video,
fucking
though.
map, man. It's like it leads you along. It's something to give you direction because
Right.
sometimes it's hard to know where to start. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
where
even
to
when you
go.
have a riff or 2
Right.
riffs, it's like, well, fuck, where do we go from there? You
Right.
know?
Everything has
If
been
you
kinda
think about emotion
exaggerated
or like
stories.
some kind of direction, I don't know. It seems to help a little bit.
Yeah. No, I fully understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
Nobody wants to just be punk either and just write about punk.
Are you
things and shit.
filming any of this stuff though? Trying to get any of it captured?
Like
Uh,
creative scenes type
Every
stuff.
time we've
Yeah.
done a show, we filmed
bit.
it. And I
Okay.
always film like a post-show kind of thing. And I try to do. I was trying to do a promo for this one as well too.
Right.
And I have characters in our universe and shit, you know, that I try to I've been trying to bring them to life, and that's what it is, kind of like actually doing these other things we talk about. You know, every time you're smoking out and shit, we have good ideas like this. The cameras aren't always rolling. Sometimes
Right.
the ideas are gone. So that's another
Right.
thing too. Always trying to put the cameras up more often.
But as far as like the bank robber story, like have you tried to capture that at all?
It's all up here right now, and then the moment we can get it. Obviously, the studio costs money, so we've been trying to work on it ourselves at home, and we've got
Right.
the mics, and they've been there. But
Home
honing
recording
the craft.
is a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but
honing
I'm
the
talking
craft
about
with our
the
limited
video
resources.
that you see. Though.
Well, once we don't have the music for it. So
Right.
when we get the
Oh.
music and audio, you know, a situation where we can continue to do these ideas. Like I'm not banking on any idea. I've been writing a movie, but I'm not banking that it's my masterpiece, and I just want to get it done so I
Yeah.
can try something else. And it's the same
Well,
with the songs too. So the ideas are there. I kind of did something where I was making videos with beats. So I made the beats. I felt like they were my songs, and then I made videos with them. So
Right.
these are things you'll see if you looked on my Instagram. That's kind of like where my hub's been. But the band stuff, we always take the music really serious, you know, trying to get the studio quality or what, you know, people expect
Right,
a good
of
recording.
course,
We can't
right.
get away with the voice memos on our phone.
I don't know.
We're trying to hone something too. We have something like a different rig right now, so it's
Right.
like it's kind of a different creature we're still trying to hone.
Right.
But
No, that sounds good.
yeah, once we get like recording and shit, I'm sure we could put out a lot of content. Like, to be honest, we talk about it a lot. We just don't do it.
Yeah, but you got 5 songs recorded, right?
Yeah.
So-
I think we just need to get a little
Actually-
more consistent with actually booking shows and playing shows. We haven't really put much effort into that, to tell you
It
the
hasn't
truth.
really.
The
been
moment
time
I
of
brought
year
that
for
CD
shows.
home, I
It's
started
coming out,
rewriting songs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
only kept 2
Yeah.
of them.
What?
When I brought that recording home, I changed the lyrics. So like,
Okay.
you know, I kind of like got to hear it from a different perspective again. So I just started changing songs. So I only kept those 2 because I felt like those were still represented like
Oh, okay.
truly.
That's why home recording is so nice, because you get the experience of hearing it back
Yes.
and getting to change it as it goes before having to commit to
Right.
a big
I
studio.
always, before we go in the studio, I always encourage whatever band I'm in to do a home recording first, so you know, like, yeah, it's just like a
you don't want
dress
to run
rehearsal.
into. Yeah, we've actually
you know,
did that.
I know. I could tell.
So you don't run
bore
into
this
problems
sto- I
when you
could
get there.
bore you with like how many times we've done that. We've done head starts. We've tried doing the songs, and we'd have like a different set of songs. And whatever roadblock came in the way, we usually talk about something else, and we try to bring it back up again with more energy than ever.
Right.
We do have a song right now. We recorded one song, instrumental style, and I was going to use it as a score in the movie. So I was trying to really give it as good. At least I had one recording, and I was like, we need to try to record something a little bit better than this. Something I made on GarageBand. Let's try to record our song that sounds presentable. In the movie, it's like she's putting a record on, so it's kind of like the score could kind of sound shitty quality because, I don't know, it's an indie movie, but the GarageBand sounds pretty good. It makes the montage work the right way.
Right.
But that
What's
was the last effort we made to record.
What's up with this?
Classic Tool. You got to see Sober in 1989 when he had the
I
funk
don't know
band.
what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Is this
Yeah,
yeah.
Tool.
Let's.
I admire them a lot. Oh no! Oh shit! Why do I keep saying that?
Why are we
TSOL.
watching this? This is random, bro.
I like it. I love noise.
Hell yeah!
It totally
I love
interrupted
Bring on the
his thought,
TSOL.
though.
No, it didn't. I like noise. I'm just waiting for it to kick in.
Oh,
I'll get.
Most of my conversations take place over a TV that's in the background too
Yeah.
loud. You know.
Yeah, that's. It's not really great for a podcast.
I know. I know. I can
I'm-
easily
you know-
ignore it. Is what I'm saying.
You know, I totally geek out on this shit though. Like I love nowadays. Before this stuff used to be folklore. You know, At the Drive-In is a reference. The footage of At the Drive-In playing in a schoolroom was classic. Like they make
Right.
posters dedicated to that footage, that VHS getting passed around. And now at the internet, YouTube, we can see all those videos.
Dude, when they played Here in Merced, dude, they were just off the hook. They didn't.
Oh,
It was. Yeah, they didn't care.
That's in their
that it
prime.
was
They
just
weren't old.
Merced, some
They weren't
little
aching.
It was like
rickety-
Fatty Mocha
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
Isn't that Strawberry Alarm Clock now?
yep, yeah,
Damn TSL or
yeah. It would
Raw.
be the
TSOL.
the pipe side
Yeah.
was the Fatty Mocha,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. There's some good stuff went down there.
Makes
a lot
us
of bad
feel.
stuff.
It makes me think like, God, is our fucking sound old? You know, like if we sound like At the Drive-In, that's kind of a. I love it. It's a classic sound, but
Yeah, no, it was just.
They
bits
are
anyway.
relevant now. I
No, I
just
don't think
don't know
we're
how
irrelevant.
relevant they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I don't know
Right.
how relevant. But they're headlining shit. I mean, Misfits are back now, and all these bands are coming out of the fucking woodwork.
just do you
Oh, yeah.
as well as possible, but continue to exercise songwriting, like your songwriting muscles,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just it. And then like, it doesn't really matter what like sound you really call from. There's always like this weird cycle to music. Something comes back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
In a way, it's almost weird to claim rights over your music in a weird way. Because, like, do you really own it? You know what I'm saying? Or
Oh,
did you
yeah,
just fucking
from-
discover it, you know? Or was it there waiting to be discovered?
Right.
Are you talking about like
Like, when I write music, I'm not really fucking planning anything. I'm not, like, trying to go for a sound. I'm just trying to, I just fucking play, and if something starts to sound like it's making sense, I go with that.
Kind of touched base on this before. It kind of, I think that's the lyrical, intellectual property, because like the blues scale has been used so many times, and it's like the blues lyrics that make,
Right.
you know, but and R&B, and like, you know, you could say that with like a group of professionals, and everybody kicks into gear and all that, and it's really like a front person who sells the song and what somebody else might be biting off of. I think the next step would be melody, because I'm kind of in that predicament where I'm playing Jimi Hendrix. I try to do a rendition of it. So is that like still in his intellectual property? Do you think they have copyright infringement on that?
I don't think.
On a melody?
Like,
It
the only
still
person-
sounds like blues and rock and roll,
It
like
depends on what-
standard.
I don't really
what
care what
capacity
Jimi
it
Hendrix
is.
himself thought.
Well,
Really.
yeah, Led Zeppelin got sued over that riff, and it was.
Oh, but they
it was
scripted
not
though,
even.
man.
Not really, dude.
Stairway to Heaven?
Not
Dude.
really, man. I
No.
listened
They
to
stole a
both
lot
of
of
them.
I think the saddest
Yeah,
one is his
yeah.
new one, the Van
get me wrong.
Van
They were a
Greta
cover band.
or
They
whatever.
started as a
The
cover
band,
Van Greta Fleet.
Yeah,
Yes,
but to
I think that's
give
the
no credit
sadder
to the
tragedy
original
right
band is
now.
kind of.
because that's a total fucking Led Zeppelin ripoff, and that's cool.
See, that's
if you
different.
say.
I do have a problem with.
If you say like I love
stealing
Led
music
Zeppelin,
and
obviously
passing
we
it
need
off
some
as your
Zeppelin.
own.
We needed some of that in our lives, and then they made it. But he was trying to like say he was more ripping off Aerosmith or something like that.
But you know how
That was
like
bullshit. The whole band sounds
you
like Led
hear
Zeppelin.
something and then you start playing a new riff and it just kind of influences the back of your mind. And
I
you
say
don't
that all the
really
time.
notice until
This sounds like
somebody walks in
Primus.
the
It
room and
sounds like
goes,
that.
"Oh, that sounds like that," you know, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
But this guy,
It's never
this
as
is
original
obvious.
as you think it is.
Right.
This
I
guy's
mean, there's only
obvious,
12
though.
notes, dude.
I
that
hate
we
that
use
guy a little
in,
bit. I
in
got a little
Western
fire
music.
in
So.
me about that guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly my point. But
That
when you
Stairway was
blatantly
stolen.
rip somebody off, that is a problem. Like if you pass it off as your own, covers are fine. But give credit to the fucking artist and
Right.
acknowledge it as a cover.
I
Right.
think
Don't-
Stairway was controversial.
Well,
That
to
Stairway.
be a good artist, you have to steal from many people. You can't make your
Is that like
depth
the Einstein
so
quote?
obvious.
But
I don't know
maybe it
who
wouldn't
said that.
count.
The
But
secret
it's
to
like
creativity
Stairway.
is,
How much credit do
hiding
they
your
get?
sources or something like that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, right.
How much credit did Zeppelin get for Stairway to Heaven though? Like, you
much
know, their
credit?
jokes. They get a lot of credit for writing it. You know,
Right.
before the controversy. You know, I think it sounds like it. You know, if it was just a mediocre song, like who would give a shit? But it is a classic one, and like to think of a band who was not classic at all, like kind of, I don't know. It's easy to water down, I guess.
Right, but
I don't know.
you know, I mean, yeah, it's tough because like deep
That's a
down,
hu-
it's like, is that
No
right or
Stairway
is
in
that
Guitar
wrong?
Center. You know,
But
it's
you
like
know
it's
what?
legendary.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you can
right.
make
You know?
Stairway to Heaven, like, it's like, okay, you took this person's riff and you made it into a song.
The lyric, he gets a lot of lyrical property in it because they didn't match the lyrics, but the riff melody wise, that's what I'm saying. Like that's a fucking
Very thought out. That's
not
a
for
fucking-
note, pretty.
Yeah.
And that hurts me to say that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Do you know-
because I love Jimmy Page and all that. And I love Zeppelin and all that, but
Isn't that funny?
And inspired.
You kind of write
It's
it off.
inspiring.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care.
I don't
still
know
love
though.
it.
It's I.
'Cause that's how I feel about it.
I feel
Yeah.
like we're talking about
too.
two different songs, because the part of the song that I'm thinking of, it's not the intro.
it's a guitar riff that I'm
Yeah, it's like a very standard fucking guitar riff, dude. Like I've played that riff in some of my songs before.
That was the controversial part. No, I
Yeah,
don't think
the-
so.
I don't
I
know.
thought it was the.
I didn't think it
intro.
was the intro.
I'm pretty sure
It was
because I've seen videos on it. They have them
But
on YouTube.
look, this
Yeah,
band,
that's
bro,
the- you
is
know,
the
I remember
biggest
shit
fight.
wrong.
Close your
all the
eyes and
time.
watch
So
this guy.
it's like
Because
I'm
I
not
did. I was like,
trustworthy.
is this
Weed.
Jack White? Is
yeah,
this?
too much weed. That's
Like,
the
I
problem.
kind of,
I
I was
need
really
more.
confusing myself, and I seen this guy,
Need
and
more.
I thought his name is Vad
Well, I got plenty.
Dangrita.
Yeah. Well,
You want some?
That's
That
not his-
Evangelita.
That's not his name though. That's just a band name.
what?
Listen to this.
Oh,
This
Greta
is
Van
such
Fleet.
standard Zeppelin.
It's tough hearing someone that sounds like Robert Plant, but they look like they're
So
from One
fine.
Direction.
So fine. That's
Oh, yeah,
Zeppelin
totally.
2.
Clean.
That's Zeppelin 2.
Oh, yeah.
Zeppelin 1 or something. I don't know.
And
It's
I mean,
not real,
I mean,
dude.
shit. Like, I mean, you got to give them props for like
This is
their,
But
their
unfortunately,
funk, their
though, no.
groove, like for their.
Unfortunately,
Got Talk
this
Band?
This is Gottschalk's Rock. Looks
Yeah.
like a Gottschalk's ad.
this is what
JCPenney
sells
rock.
though. Like if you were trying to be a fucking musical sellout, this is what's selling right now. Unfortunately, you know,
Well, if,
Is
like
it
this is
though?
what's on a chart. Yeah.
if someone said,
That-
"Hey,
you have to. This is
you
where
have
I'm
to
at
make a
too.
band-
You
oh,
have
sorry.
to define your own success. And my success for me is not really $1 million. That's great. I could
Right.
sustain on that
That'd
for
be
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'd take $1 million.
But like I said, that effort you make to play shows and
Oh.
writing music, the payoff
Left
is
them in the
seeing
house.
Oh wait.
full people's energy vibing on
nice.
you and going crazy. 15 minutes, a 15-minute show of a lot of people. That's the payoff. Well, for me,
Mhm.
maybe a lot of people want to aspire to be like somebody like Snoop Dogg with
I'm finding
Golden
out
Chain.
that there are different peoples that shoot for different vicinities.
Yeah.
Some people put a ton of effort into crafting the album, and then they'll do a couple shows, and then there are certain bands that purely exist as
Live band.
live bands, and like I know what's his name, Chris Stapleton.
Mhm.
You know, he's not the only person to do this, but he writes his songs so he can perform them. Tech Nine makes sure that he doesn't do as many punch-ins as he possibly can because he wants to be able to perform them.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever realm you want to exist in,
What do you need, the grinder?
it's fine.
And it's true. Like I kind of mentioned, like I know the steps of being in a band is to make a demo and pursue these steps, but like I'm inspired by like the young generation and like the way things have gone, dude. People have carved their paths and reinvent the steps of the industry. And what was it that you're mentioning? Like making sure that they do it so they can perform it, or somebody who's only is imagery, the nice album cover, and they can ship that out, but like they never perform it, you know. But everybody has different pursuits.
Yeah.
And I'm inspired by that. I can't hold on to the same old ideas that I had of a band and all that.
Right. How weird is a band like OK Go, where it's like
That's-
it's their music videos
That's amazing.
that
Yeah,
are
right.
huge.
Right.
and that's a right time,
They
right
have
on the
fucking
YouTube
awesome
blowing up
videos.
and stuff. That was, if we do it now, we're biting it in a way, but they still did it really good. They're still doing it really good.
Yeah, I love all this shit.
I can admire. I think, like we like craft beers and stuff like that. I think people can start admiring a connoisseur band, like bands with smaller demographics but are diehard fans.
Yeah, totally.
Just like a craft beer,
Dude,
kind
there's
of
little
like.
fucking pockets of that. You find that, like these little underground successful bands, like 68 or.
And I think they're sought out through the different realms. Like showing them a movie, they hear the music, and then we'll find those people who are like-minded, like through different avenues like that. It's not always just the music that finds those people that were into our shit.
Yeah, but
helps, though.
film is a tough one because like if you're just like plastering shit that doesn't fit the scene just to get like a promotion out there, it clashes with the movie. But because sometimes that's a delicate thing. You want the right music for that movie. Like the score is fucking important.
Yeah, that's a.
Sometimes you love a song because of the visuals that went along with it in that fucking movie. It set that emotion for whatever fucking reason.
Oh yeah, TV and movies have set up a lot of bands in history.
Yeah.
Like,
what was that band that was in that movie?
Like
Right.
imagine the band, like the official Furries band, like a band that always sing, or like the McDonald's band. It's kind of a novelty band. Or who was the other band who did like joke metal songs that we played with one time?
Joke
Psycho
metal.
Stick or something like
Psycho
that.
Stick.
And they make kind of silly songs, but it's pretty authentic. Those are they have their demographics of like crazy people. I don't think there's an official Furries band, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure
There
there's
should
there's
be.
a need for one.
should
I'm
be.
sure.
Do you
There's
guys
probably a brony band.
Simple Minds, that band?
Mm.
Well, yeah, that's the Don't You Forget About
yeah,
Me. That's that one, right?
Right.
So I just like watched a live video of them last night, and just straight up while they're performing that song, they're just showing Breakfast Club imagery behind
Right
them.
behind
They
them.
have to
Nice.
because that's what made
That's a good
that
choice.
song.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it'd be neat if the story behind your band was the thing that was the focus, but no. Instead, it's just that totally iconic movie.
That's
That's
what I kind of
elevated
see.
your song.
Like the
Your soul a
character,
little bit.
right?
Isn't that weird?
Like
the
the
double-edged sword of it.
Yeah.
the manager, like
I
or
don't
like the
think
characters of
well,
our universe
I'll take the
who
money.
like you expect to
You'd be
see at
happy
the
to
show.
be fucking doing what you love.
Mhm.
Like Cousin Eddie or
Oh, yeah.
something from
Yeah, I
Iron
think I
Maiden, the
would,
big
too.
skull,
Oh yeah.
At least I can
You know?
fucking do that.
Uh-huh.
like he
Yeah.
or the
Having
Misfit
fuck
skull.
you money would be
The
nice.
Misfit skull, I think, is more iconic than the
think they have
music
fuck you
itself.
money.
Or
Yeah.
Black
They got
Flags.
fuck you
Like
money.
punk
You
rock
think
has
so?
a lot of symbolism that I
Who?
feel are bigger
Oh,
than the
those
bands. Like I'm
guys?
still
Yeah.
discovering these bands
If they had
now.
Fuck you money, they
Even though
would've
I've
fucked
known
it
the
off a
symbols
long
for
time. That
forever.
was
The
fucking
Germs had
40,
this circle.
30 years ago.
Right.
But they're still, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if they promote Breakfast Club and get that selling again, then they get royalties. They're still making royalties off of Breakfast Club, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because Breakfast Club is always celebrated. It's a cult classic, so it's celebrated all the time.
Oh yeah. So every time you watch it on TV, that band makes a little bit of money.
And that's one thing I don't think we have anymore in the record industries. Like, I don't think they do royalty deals anymore. Like, your song got played on the radio, you would get so much. I think these contracts are probably watered down. More of a lump sum. That's what a band wants delivery
Right.
on, is the main sum. We know that record companies have always been shady. So why now would we ever want to be?
Well, who was
With
that
the record
SoundCloud guy last year that won an award?
Oh, Chance the Rapper.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there is like, it's becoming, the internet is becoming a force, dude.
My inspiration had been like Tyler the Creator. I like his universe, and I like his
Yeah.
music. And
Have you seen what he did with Bad Bad Not Good?
not him. I haven't seen.
It's like
Oh,
Bad
could you
Bad
pull
Not
that up, Chris?
Yeah, Bad Bad Not Good is a jazz band.
Tyler the
Yeah, I seen
Creator,
them
Bad
with,
Bad Not Good.
another rapper.
Yeah, they
had
do,
a-
they do some stuff with Tyler the Creator. It's
What's
pretty
that other
good.
one? Denzel Curry. That was a
Denzel
sick ass
Curry.
song.
Oh yeah.
Bad, not good.
He did a song with Bad Bad Not Good.
Uh,
Damn.
Yeah, Bad Bad Not Good and Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, but I love his universe. All his when he does film and stuff, it looks like his stuff. It's so signature now in obnoxious colors and stuff like that. And like it'd be a dream to like collaborate with shoe companies and all that. That shit's fun. Like not talking about money, but it'd be so sick to
Right.
see your clothes here and there.
Well,
Nothing
how-
wrong with a little
That'd
bit
be crazy.
of money,
Freedom in the budget to do.
Sorry.
what
Yeah,
you do.
whatever, and he does whatever he wants to do, and it's sick. And he's been doing it for a long time now.
Well, how influential is like even the fashion of like Tyler the Creator or Mac DeMarco?
Oh yeah. It's all that's the cool kids are,
I live
I
in-
can't pull that shit off.
I live in San Francisco, and it's like every fourth person looks like Mac DeMarco.
Yeah, I totally get that. And those
In
are the
a bar,
people
that
I still want
In a
those people
bar.
at my
a
show.
bar.
Like, I think that those are the fun
funny.
people. Like, in the way my mind interprets it, that's the youthful. Those are the people who will go crowd surfing, show up to your shows, and in droves of people.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be in Asiago, we wanted MySpace, like,
Pig
emo
mask.
girls with lots of black eyeliner, hair down, rawr, and stuff
Yeah,
like.
but-
That's who we wanted to attend the shows
Right.
before.
They were more
There
into
are-
like hardcore
You know?
emo screamo type
Yeah.
shit though.
That was a golden
But- and
little
it's different.
period.
Oh yeah.
How weird was that?
We had
that
too
that
many
was
chicks
like-
in the band to attract chicks. I think.
And they didn't. Yeah, they didn't. I think we were promoting strong women before whatever's going on now was. They didn't have to dress up like those MySpace girls. They just did what they did. They
Right.
were rocking out.
That kind of died out, huh? The
What's
whole
that?
the
MySpace?
emo. No, that.
Oh.
That particular
The-
phase of emo.
That phase,
Yeah.
totally. However, what's really weird is like if you go to like the Midwest or the East Coast,
just
emo
like-
music, pop punk,
It's just catching up right
it,
now.
it's
took a while to get
popping.
over there.
That's what I noticed in Napoleon Dynamite. It was like everything that was in there. It was just like they were late on it.
Yeah, kind of.
I feel like that movie like spawned a whole genre of comedy in a weird way.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't feel like they were
Yeah,
late on it. I
definitely.
feel like they were the
real dry.
innovators of
Super
that
Super
sound. I mean,
dry.
what are
Yeah.
Stupid
Like
humor.
styles and trends.
Silly,
Like when it
was
Yeah.
dry
it
and
catches up
silly.
to the Midwest states.
Totally.
Like you think that it takes a while to get out of country, but even in the United States, like
Yeah.
the Midwestern people don't catch up on what's cool in California or on the internet for a while.
Oh yeah. Other
it's a,
countries take even longer.
Yeah.
A
at
couple
those
years.
early times, you could definitely tell where there was like geographic things, like that whole MySpace thing. That was really big in like on like the West Coast. There were tons of like emo hot topic circuits through the West, but then in the Midwest they had this like emo sound, like American football and like Braid. And
People
if you-
said that for a long time. Emo music used to be cool, and it did change, like the way we
Yeah.
defined
Oh,
what
yeah.
emo was.
Because
it
the
was
90s emo,
Braid.
emo was totally different.
It was Braid and Sunny Day Real Estate.
But MySpace
Right.
recoined the
Sam I
term
Am.
emo to
Yeah.
identify with like the from first to last and
yeah,
a
there
certain
was-
look and stuff.
There
Yeah,
was
that-
a little
that
bit
came
of
later.
Like,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
almost imagine like something sludgy spilling on the floor and like getting everywhere, I think that like emo kind of like turned a little bit into screamo, and then just certain bands defined something that was just enough of a Venn diagram to where it's like whiny vocals, like really edgy guitars, melodic
It made
lines.
me not want to try as hard. It's like, why am I going to do all of that? I don't know. I actually did. I take that back. Before I played with you guys, I did play in a band that was all about the fucking sellout. The look,
Yeah.
the sound, the very generic stuff, samples in the background, breakdowns and all that. It was fun. And it was an attempt to sell out.
Sure.
But I'm glad I didn't because I think it's dead. I think it's official. I think it died yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday. Yesterday was the day.
I can't remember who
Day the
said
music
it.
died.
That's why we left the house today. We're hiding out from it.
In terms of learning music and stuff, I can't remember where I heard it, but someone said you have to emulate. Wait, oh man, I'm trying to remember what it is right now. I had it. Damn you.
Would it be people
Damn
that
you,
you
Sativa.
that
Damn you,
you have to
Sativa.
copy people?
Yeah.
You know who ripped off his style? David Lee Roth totally bit somebody else's style. Like I always thought of him as an innovator, and I watched something
Right.
on Amazon Prime. Yes,
Jim
he
Dandy.
totally
Right.
stole all his moves and his look, and he like wrote
Right.
him in a letter. You're the kind of singer I want to do. I'm gonna steal your moves, and he endorsed it. You know, and we look at David Lee Roth as like this fucking crazy rock star.
Right.
Oh, I thought
He
it
totally
Hey,
stole him.
Edison just proved it a long time ago when
Wait.
Tesla came up with all that shit, but Edison was the one that sold it.
Yeah,
Have
So
you
he
seen the
gets-
Drunk History Tesla?
That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Fucking love that one.
Drunk
Right.
History's the greatest.
I don't believe that all those people are drunk though.
Oh
No, they're not through a portion of it for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if they get too shitty, you could tell they're all fucked up and they're barely getting the lines out.
Right.
And then it'll kind of clean up for the rest of the narration.
Yeah,
like they
right.
come back in the studio. And
Right.
It's one of my
Yeah, there's
favorite
some
like
studio magic
editing.
there.
I love that show, and it could be used in so many good things.
Genius
3 days.
formula.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
formula of that is
What's that? Oh,
So
right.
yeah, the GX. Oh yeah, that worked. Yeah, that's a smart idea.
Yeah,
Get like the.
I'd be retarded if I went and did that. I just don't drink a lot.
I
You'd be
thought.
retarded if you did what?
Oh,
If I went and tried to do drunk history, it just wouldn't come out
yeah.
well.
Well, like I did use it. Like,
Ridiculous.
I was very inspired by it. So in my movie Letters to Charlene,
Yeah.
I do an attempt at it, and I actually had to edit some out. It was like one of those obstacles I had to get over, like trying to make it work. But I did get a little sample of what I was trying to do, and it'd be great. Like the formula I wanted to use in one of my other podcasts was telling cocaine stories. Tell your drug stories, you know, and the camera's like a fisheye lens, so it looks really intense. And then you reference back from the fisheye lens footage to stop motion or just like toy animation or some kind of thing, you know, some
That's a
kind of
cool
other
idea.
way of describing the story, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to do like puppet animation.
Storytelling is just
Puppet
That's
animation.
it.
Puppet animation.
Puppets would be
That's
great.
funny.
Yeah.
This is a great setup for puppets.
Yeah, right behind us.
Right, yeah.
I would love to do a puppet show.
Mhm.
I'll fucking make
Well,
one.
I'm
I
just
would too.
yeah. See, that's the thing is that I'm not. I can think of these things, but I can't create them. I'm not artistic in that sort of way.
Well, you know what's
You
always
know.
cool is like people always do Shakespeare movies. Like how many times has Romeo and Juliet been done? You know, pay
Right.
homage to something that you're passionate about. You know,
Right. And do it your
I think
own
that's a
way.
good
Romeo and Julio.
Nomeo and
It's very progressive.
I don't know
Yeah,
what the other
very
one. Juliet.
progressive.
They had a production over here in Merced where they did Romeo and Juliet, but it was all like 1800s Mexican themed, like
That's-
in terms
yeah.
of like
Interesting.
their fashion, the scenarios, like, or I mean the scenes behind them, like the type of.
Yeah, we're for
People have done
homes.
like the renditions
Yeah,
over and
so
over
far.
again. Like even now we get on like movie reboots and remakes of shit.
Right.
Like Cabin Fever pisses me off. Did you know he redid that whole movie like shot for shot? And
Oh,
Cabin
there
Fever
was-
was just fine the way it was.
God, what was the one? It's a zombie movie in like a apartment or something, and they seal off this apartment complex. But it was a remake from an Italian movie, and like it's shot by shot
Yeah.
remake. You
Mhm.
could watch them side by side, and they'll be going along. It's
like,
just
what-
different
what's the
people.
fucking point?
I like. I
Dude,
admire.
No,
people
those
do
guys
that,
that
but-
put when they put that movie out, they were like claiming all this originality, and I'm just like,
Ooh.
like we all know that it came from this movie. What are you
Mhm.
doing? You know, like, because the zombie people. Because I was a zombie person for a while. I watched all the zombie movies, you know, and even the foreign ones. So
No.
I had seen that way before they. And so when I was watching their movie, I was like, wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
it's exactly what I've seen this. It's just with different people, but
Well, I don't know. It's something
Yeah.
about when you learn people's backstory. It seems like it can ruin your idea of that person.
yeah.
Because you find out that like Tarantino
Good, man.
allegedly, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but apparently he fucking stole from like a lot of Japanese movies.
Well, yeah, he
Oh,
does
yeah.
that on purpose.
yeah.
though.
Yeah,
He's
it's
pretty
you
blatant
can
about it.
you can say it's an ode or whatever. I don't.
Right.
I'm not criticizing him for it, but people do. You know?
Yeah, I don't.
He
But
he has like a he's
what
only
I'm saying
supposed to
is,
make
like, it
so
can
many
ruin it for
movies, and he
certain
said he's going to
people.
stop making
Right.
movies. Like
When-
he always said 10 movies, and then he wasn't going to make any more. So he like all these movies are supposed to be very
I guess it's when you find
well
out creativity is kind of an illusion.
Right.
like Fast
know,
and
like,
the
everybody's got
Furious
their fucking
is Point
influence.
Break.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, you know, wise men say only fools rush in. Like, how many bands have used that line? Because it's so great. I would use that in a song,
Oh, I'm sure.
even though it's already
Yeah.
been done
If I
before. I don't
wasn't
give a
so
shit.
stoned
It,
right now,
it
I'd probably
means
come up with a
something
bunch
to
of
me.
those.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that particular lyric is just huge to me.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I try to use that in something that I'd create?
I was
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
say only fools rush in. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Elvis Presley, dude.
Yeah,
So good.
and more
That
I
sounds
think
very
about it,
familiar too.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
You can almost say that about like going into new ventures or like making art. You know, it's like it takes a wise person to sit back and stay out of it because you know what's the cost, what's the profit of it. You have to be like, one could say that you have to be like slightly foolish to like go into a venture, even though there could be a high level of success. Calculated risk, yeah, totally. Making computers, and then going from like being in your garage to like Apple.
And they were huge, and now they're so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet's great for a lot of things, but it's easily corrupted by a lot of other things too. It's just crazy that your kids can type something in and like learn some shit that they probably shouldn't learn,
Right.
or it could be good.
Dude, have you ever talked to AI on the internet?
Nah.
Chatbots? Dude.
I bet that's weird as fuck.
Yeah, because they're emulating what they're learning through, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So as you're talking to them, all the conversations that have occurred with it, it's like putting that back on you.
Yeah.
And so when you have a conversation with that kind of AI, dude, you realize that, man, humanity just needs to slow the fuck down.
Well, didn't
dude.
they have those like super bots that were supposedly like the pinnacle of what we can do now as far as AI? And they
Right.
started talking back and forth between each other, and before they knew it, they had their own language and,
Right.
and something we couldn't decode, so they fucking pulled the plug on them.
Right,
They
yeah.
didn't know what they were up to.
Whoa.
Right. They don't
Kidding
know,
me?
but they don't
Yeah.
know if it was gibberish or a language.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
I've
I
heard
mean?
that
But
too.
they started communicating in a way that we couldn't understand.
That's like the Tower of
Oh,
Babel,
shit.
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Biblical shit.
We just guided them.
It's
Just
weird,
like-
huh?
Yeah, the computer made its own language beyond our like capacity to understand it, so we pulled the plug.
Maybe
Mm.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
know because we can't
Right.
decipher. it.
Even like what we've just what we
Even
know
if
of
you
the
think-
Bible has been reinterpreted
Let's
out
say
of
we
different
did
languages.
interpret it. Well, we would just be coming up with shit. How would you interpret a language? Like, I think that's the problem with dead language. If nobody speaks it,
'Cause we didn't
nobody's
have-
there to tell you.
We did have emojis
Right.
You can't
then.
really
We
interpret
did.
the language.
There's no,
Mhm.
there's no telling
Hieroglyphics were
that.
emojis of the then.
And then
Yeah.
you couldn't ask
Bird.
the AI to tell you because
Bird.
they'd be lying.
Oh yeah, they could
Lion.
be.
Like, if they were smart enough to tell you, what
That's funny.
language are you speaking? I'll teach you.
Right.
And maybe the AI is just smart enough to fucking lie to you. And
Right. Teaching Pig Latin or
for some
something.
reason, we've been programmed to think that there's evil intent behind artificial intelligence. I guess anything can be weaponized, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
just
saying, like,
say,
even
I always
Google
say,
seems
be
like
kind
it.
to your AI, dude.
Okay, but if you're a
Yeah.
computer
Be
and you're
kind.
only
Tip your AI.
Yep.
It should be a
Tip
bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Be kind to your AI.
if you're a computer and your only way of interacting with humans is by speech, how would you know if the person that you're talking to is lying?
What?
They don't.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Like,
program AI.
How
just
would
simply
the if
tell the
you
truth.
lie to like this like chat box, how would it know what a lie is? It doesn't experience reality on the level to where it sees something different.
Maybe
than
they have
something
lie
Yeah, that's just the
detector,
limitation
the
of
lie detector software,
conversation.
that the polygraph, like they have that in an app, and then they just like right into that
Right.
hard. Yeah, maybe basic.
But you'd
one.
have to. But that's
A little bit of
connection. That's an
Fitbit, pulse
electrical
reading.
connection that you'd have to then connect yourself
And then
to the
We're
computer,
talking
so it
AI
could.
shit. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet
So
there
it's
could be an
nuts.
AI that would easily tell if you're lying because, like with GPS and tracking, and it came down to like where your location is.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know with like iPhones, it puts your home location just by how often your phone is being in this one location. They just assume that
Right.
that's home.
Mhm.
Because I never put that into my GPS, but it's there.
Right.
Right.
My phone's always
So if
tracking.
it
That's
came
weird.
into a conversation with my iPhone, they could call me on that lie that no, that's not my home. Well, you sleep here every night. Like your
Right.
phone's there every night. Do you leave your phone there? Like,
Let-
Would you like me to change it now? No, I don't want you to change it, but I'm just
I'd just
just
be like,
saying.
it's none of your
Yeah.
business.
Please
Damn.
remind me later.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. But we're all just information, and computers could get so smart that they can assemble that information into a clone of you, start doing shit.
But is it really understanding or the appearance of understanding? You know.
Yeah, I think right now it's just programming.
That's $1 million question.
But yeah, creating an actual AI that can think for itself, yeah, that's not impossible. I mean, I'd like to see what we're like in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude. Put your
Maybe in
consciousness
like
in a
20,
dildo.
you will see what it's like in 1,000 years.
right?
Yeah, we say that we're like growing at a like unstoppable rate right now. Like, but a lot of things haven't changed.
Well,
Like,
I
there's
just
still a
watched
lot of
this. I
primitive
watched
shit
a
going
TED
on.
Talk where this guy explained that the population of the Earth can't go over 11 billion.
Can't?
Can't. He was
Can't
just like
sustain over 11 billion.
not sustain. It's just the birth rate and the death rate. It's just
It'll never.
it'll
exceed
never.
interesting.
It because of the way that it is. He does it with these blocks.
That's weird.
You know what I mean? So he has a real visual sort of thing that he does, and
It's
he's
fucking
like,
strange.
"These are death, these are births, right?"
Mhm.
And and he explains and he takes out some blocks.
There's like
you
a
know?
sacred
And then
geometry.
he
to-
adds like a couple to here. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Geometry to it.
yeah. It's
That's funny.
like
yeah,
overlay of our lives. You know, like maybe we're not as in control as we think.
but to him,
Maybe.
as he was explaining it, it was just like so simple and rudimentary to him. He was just like, Yeah, it'll never go over 11 billion. That's the cap of the people.
What if
Be-
people
That's
are
true.
stronger than blocks?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Depends on what the block is made out of,
Oh yeah, that's true.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Block of cheese,
But-
I'll tear that shit up.
But what softens the potato hardens the egg.
What softens the potato hardens the egg?
Yeah.
Water.
Boil,
Boiling water.
boiling.
hmm
Oh.
But I'm just saying the same thing. Boiling water could do one thing. It just depends what you're made of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You know.
Interesting.
We're not created equal.
Yep.
Why is that?
Are we
Yeah.
though? Are we all
A lot of
created
wise
equal?
shit going on right now.
I mean, some people are like,
Hmm.
yeah, you are what you eat. You're building yourself essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, are
Yeah,
we
that's
all
true.
equal? Were we all made
no.
equal?
Yeah, I'm filled with convenience store peanuts right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's what you're made of. Peanuts.
that's what I'm made of right now. Some
Peanuts.
salty ass peanuts.
I'm made of roast beef right now.
You had some roast beef.
Roast beef and provolone.
Oh,
A little bit of spinach.
Protein.
Yep.
A little roughage.
Hops and barley and herb
Hops and
and
barley.
like a
Coffee.
hamburger and coffee. Yeah.
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 I got a green light earlier. Like when I found out I didn't have to drive, so I started
Nice.
tipping some back.
Started boozing.
Cruising for
Cruising.
boozing.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, we're watching some sort of like a spray, like a multiple type of. What would you say?
Spacescape.
It's a painting, but they're using various methods
It's
of
like
painting, from like
stencils
spray
and-
painting to stencils, and
Multiple
It's all
shit,
spray
like
paint.
they were using but earlier they were brushing or using brushes.
Know who the earliest guy to do that
Wait
was?
a second, what?
Oh yeah.
There's kind of like a formula to these. Like there's a lot of people who do these.
Oh, That's
So
what
I
it
wonder
was.
who like I like. This is kind of Bob Ross style in a way, but they just
A
take it to the
little bit.
street.
But there's no happy. None of those trees are happy.
They're galactic trees.
There's no happy little trees.
No
in this
happy little
picture.
trees.
No, there's little mistakes though. You know, there's happy mistakes going on there.
Happy
Oh yeah,
mistake.
he's
he's slicing that thing up. Blah, blah, blah.
just add some little.
Tools are important.
Is it a Star Wars song they're playing?
No.
Murphy? Is that who? John Murphy?
John Williams,
Oh, John Williams.
right?
Right.
That's amazing.
That's horrible. Yeah, that's pretty
How long
good.
you think we've gone so far? Because
Right now? How
yeah,
long have we gone,
podcasts
Chris?
have
Can you
always,
see?
like,
We got time?
Trip me out. Like when it comes to time, you think you have an idea of time conception.
An hour?
An hour?
Yeah, we've
I
done
What?
an
didn't
hour.
know the movie.
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun.
Wow, goddamn right.
I mean, an array of topics have.
I know.
Come and gone.
Water a little bit earlier. We were talking all kinds of cool shit.
You were.
Just hanging out.
Right?
No, not just me. I mean, all of us.
How weird is a
Yeah.
podcast though? You sit down and you just like talk at it, and you just
You,
just let
this
it
is
go.
the
my
only
first
thing that
one.
makes it a podcast though is that we are intentionally recording and like sitting here, but like we do this all the time
Right.
without recording. It's called the smoke out. You're
Sure.
smoking
The
out all the
smoke
time, and like the
Sit back
brilliant
in the bowl.
ideas and random stuff happens, and
Hanging with Bernie.
yeah. But now with the technology now
Bernie.
told us that it's called a podcast if you do it like this.
Right.
Isn't that weird? And it's called a podcast after an iPod, and it's completely outlived that.
And then you
medium.
said that
Does it
was
have to be
silly,
streamed
and
to
then
be
you
a
see
podcast?
people do it successfully,
know.
and you've tuned
You're
in for it,
talking
and you're like,
crazy.
oh, it's
No,
kind of
I
like
don't think
FM
so,
radio.
Because Dan Carlin does his podcast and it's fully edited.
yeah.
You know, it's
Uh-huh.
it's. I think it's based around the concept of talking.
You know,
and
radio was
It's like an
invented not for
audiobook, though.
music. It was
Right.
radio was made for a platform to sell commercials. Like I think that might be I would almost
Wait
bet
a
that
second.
radio was made to sell commercials, and then you just played Storytime Annie and all that in between selling commercials. A moment to
Well-
keep you around. I would put money. That's actually what it was. Radio.
Interesting.
Music is a great platform for it.
they came up with the radio because we're badass.
Goes for
It was just time to think of some shit, and then some dude heard that and went,
fucking radio.
"I can make some money off of that shit." I got you. Watch.
Don't boxers
Like
suck?
like the guy
you
who
want a
made the
box that
radio,
can make some
he might not
noise?
have had money. The money companies
Radio.
Yeah,
who can put broadcasting towers and shit like that, they're gonna put Ovaltine in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ima-
100
it's
times.
always about
Ovaltine
money.
made this shit happen. You guys are hearing the radio from New York. over the airwaves, Little Orphan Annie, all over the world because
Yeah.
of Ovaltine.
Remember what we were talking about
Here's some
earlier?
jazz music. Bam.
About how like Adult Swim changed animation to where it's like all abstract now.
Yeah.
I wonder
And it's
when
totally acceptable.
commercials got like wild after the radio
Skittle.
started.
Oh yeah.
Like when was the first moment that it was just like
Wacky fucking voice guy selling Ovaltine.
1942 and that's what you hear coming out.
We didn't
Holy
have-
shit.
I don't think we had TV in. I think it was the late '50s that we had TV, right?
Yeah,
Fred
totally.
Armisen's
So,
drum thing. He
radio was
when
huge back
his
then, before
blank
then.
Netflix special.
It was
you gotta
way
check-
more wholesome.
His
Oh.
Netflix special, and he pulls up all the
Yeah.
drum sets, and
Yeah.
the 1920
That's
drum
pretty
was
funny.
made for commercial TV or film
I
scores.
thought it was like a marching kit put together.
It's like a sound effects kit, but it looks like a conventional drum set, a big bass drum and little wood blocks, and your hi-hat was on the floor with a little kicker.
Super
and these
circus-like.
noises were to like describe silly movies. And, but it looked like a
Right.
drum set.
Right, I know what
But
you're
it was to
talking
put the scores of the movies that old movies. You know,
Like
they
the
had
Looney
commercials.
Tunes
Commercials were
and-
important in
yeah.
old movies.
that early on, they realized there needed to be like a cadence and a rhythm to the visuals.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot, dude.
What a weird thing that like movies, recorded music, and the bass drum pedal were all made like or all popularized around the
At
same
the same
time.
time.
Yeah,
That's weird, dude.
you can't have a drum set without a bass drum
That's a
pedal.
creativity boom right there.
Right.
Because we're still playing by that standard. That's what I mean. Like,
I'm still
yeah, we've
blown
evolved,
away.
man, but we're still fucking banging on brass cymbals or whatever the fuck they're made out of. I don't even know.
Yeah, big old pieces of metal.
Yeah, it's
We've
very,
had
still very
electric
primitive.
drum sets, and we've resorted back to it. And
They
I'm
still
still
suck.
amazed by the ingenuity of people in like another country when they make like
Well,
a fucking drum set out of cans or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and you're like watching them, and they've got. I'm
Right.
still
That's
blown
trash
away by
cans
it.
and fucking
I think those people
pots
have
and
hella
pans
soul.
and shit,
I'm like,
yeah.
I give them more credit than somebody who has the badass triple bass drum,
Yeah.
and then they play like this.
I like
Very stiff.
I
and
like when a
comfortable.
drummer has an electronic pad.
I dig it too.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
I dig
So
all
there's
flavors and
other
Oh, yeah.
shit that you can add.
Be
Dictionary.
creative with that shit.
But
Dictionary.
when that came out, when that symbol came out, somebody was like, "This is it. This is it for drums." Like,
What,
it's
the symbol?
the electric drum.
Oh
you know,
yeah.
this is the future. This is it. Digital is the wave.
Right
And then we went.
Oh,
here.
someone was stoked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then he played a show and everyone went, "What the fuck? It just don't look right, dude.
It's weird, huh?
It doesn't look."
I didn't get Prince for a long time.
Not setting it up like that.
I did not get it.
You know, all you need is the 8-pad thing. You know,
Mhm.
you got all your whole drum set right there.
Mhm.
And then you could worry about the stand that was on, or the table that it was on, or
Right.
the cloth that was in front of it.
All right.
But there's like articulation that you'll never get. Well, I shouldn't say never, but you just
Yeah.
don't get on electric kits, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But then there's a lot of stuff you can do on, you know. But I wouldn't advise anyone to just go strictly electric kit.
No.
Just integration, though.
Trying to
The
think of a cool
acoustic
one.
with the electronic. I think that's.
Yeah, those are weird too. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's just me. Like, I feel like to get good at the thing, you have to do the thing. There's no substitute for playing on an acoustic kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely. Even like doing stuff on practice pads and everything.
Yeah,
Like,
it's close, but
it does not give you.
it's
like,
good for
the
practicing
experience.
chops. But it's not.
No, I'm saying it's part of your drum set.
No, I know. I know.
There's
What
a
you're saying.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, I was just
you're
talking
right.
about the limitations of electronics.
You really start to get to know your drum and shit. It's kind of like that whole like being inspired in the moment. Music is supposed to be fun. Like all in all, we always talk about selling records and this and that. When you lose the fact about playing it, and some shows are better than other shows, and some practices are fucking fun and feel good, you know. And you might be limited if you had an electric drum to do that. You need your fucking instrument that you play. That you're. It's an intimate
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Playing music's an intimate thing, and electric drums probably water that down a bit.
It could.
I don't know if
I
it'll
don't know,
ever completely die out, man. Like live music, as much as it's become like digital and
Right.
accessible for everybody. There's something to a live show.
I think it'll always sell if they just keep putting a shitload of famous people. Like everybody wants to be around famous people for a second. And you get Beyonce and whoever the hell's at Coachella this year. People are willing to
Right.
pay that to be in the essence of famous
Which is
people.
crazy. Like, it's just this place out in the fucking desert. People just.
It's a gathering point. you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's
this is where it's
overpopularized
gonna
now.
happen.
I think it used to be cool, and now it's like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been. I can't shit on it, but
Yeah,
it
I'm
seems like it's
cool.
very
like
trendy.
it's powerful. It's like enormous now.
Isn't that what they brought back?
Yeah, it's not-
Tupac?
No.
cutting
Well,
it.
we have yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
hologram. The
Dre
Tupac
and Snoop
hologram.
Dogg.
We have our
Oh,
own.
no, I'm
like,
thinking of Burning Man. I'm sorry, not Coachella.
Oh, Burning Man.
Yeah.
Oh, Burning
I
Man.
apologize.
there's a bunch
Yeah,
of crazy shit like
yeah.
that though. Ours would be like Riot Fest, where
Riot
that's
Fest,
where
that's your shit.
I think that's kind of like Vans Warped Tour has kind of died out. That used to be it. I loved Ozfest.
I love
Those kind,
I love the Fest in Florida.
Oh yeah. The Fest is great in Florida. That's a great one too. I found a lot of bands through those kind of like YouTube has opened my mind to so many bands, and it's crazy like these little rabbit holes, and then they're all tied in together. You know, so I feel like there's a connection with some Florida bands that are fucking sick. That'd be great to get to New Orleans and stuff like that.
Well, stuff like that where you
Yeah,
can
I'm
actually
good.
see
This is why I sober up.
the uniqueness in the people that they have. Like I just played Tree Fort Festival in Boise, and it was amazing. That was awesome.
Yeah, I bet they don't have too many cool
What's
people
the name of your
rolling
band?
through like Boise like all the time.
My band is called the Band Ice Cream.
Band ice cream.
Yeah, we're based in SF. We all live there. We make music that gets labeled as like punk, but it's a little bit more on. I don't know. We're like as punk as like Elvis Costello, who's like more of
Like
like
that shit.
a songwriting rock and roller,
Yeah,
who is like within the idiom of playing like
I to-
fast and hard.
I fucking love Elvis Costello. Could you tell today? Today is kind of like my total rip off of like Elvis
Yeah.
Costello. It just kind of comes with the suit, the
Your
guitar,
Elvis Day.
That was great.
He said he was good.
and my character too. I also wear glasses, kind of like yours, but I didn't have lenses in them. I was
Right.
kind of like, I was dressed up like
Isn't
a
that
ghost.
fucking stupid though? Like that's a rule. Like you
What's
can't
that?
pass it to the right. It's pass left.
Oh, if it ain't right,
Oh,
it's
whatever.
if it ain't left, it ain't right.
It feels wrong though. Like I guess like where we it was enforced where we grew up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
isn't it? But then also, there's like rap songs that say "pass it to the left," and then there's also ones that say "counterclock," which is passing it to the right.
Bro, just
I don't know
smoke.
if I
That's
had
it.
that one.
Dude, am
Yeah.
I being cool right now?
Well, yeah, letting the bowl burn out.
Hip hop
is worse
culture
than
is
passing
always
it
the
to
coolest.
Always worse. Hip hop culture.
bird and cherries.
I'm big on the snap.
The snap.
Yeah, like
Have you been playing music?
I have
like trying to
not,
take
dude. I've been
one
doing
hit
this.
bowls and
That's
kind
been my
of bigger
focus.
bowls, but
Yeah.
try to take it all in
That's
one.
been a
Same
lot.
with the bong.
Yeah.
And like I
It's
try
a
to
good
give
thing
my
to work
guests
on.
like, here, take the snap.
I think so,
You know? Here's some-
especially as
yeah,
fresh
enjoy that to yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
like. Oh no, it's cool. Like as an aging musician, which is what I am. This is where I should be helping the younger group come up, you know, and trying to create something for
You
them.
can't-
You know.
Don't do teach kind of thing.
Well, I mean,
I made that
we don't
glass
need
half
to get
full.
too fucking honest here.
No, that I
You know what I mean? But
I churched it up.
If I were
I
gonna
did church
be,
it up
if I were gonna
in the
be
room.
something, I would have been it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I
So-
only have a window. I can only jump around and fucking hurt myself and
you
make
do
it cool.
only have a window, and like when that window is, I mean, I
You
don't know.
no, people
It's
still
just
rock
me
the fuck
trying
out.
to do it gracefully instead of just like
Yeah.
playing shitty bars until I die. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
still love music, and but yeah, just my focus has been on creating something for the younger musicians to come up and yeah.
I agree. I was giving guitar lessons and shit, and I was like, this is where I'm gonna be. This is okay.
Just a guitar.
I gave
teacher.
it up though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, I was trying to inspire some kid. I got this 13-year-old kid, and his family's all like very religious and stuff. Hella kids in the house, nice house and all that. They were doing all right, and I thought I was gonna open his mind to Metallica, and he just wasn't getting off on it, dude. Like
Yeah.
I did, and everybody that I knew that was learning guitar played Metallica,
Right.
and I don't know. I just
That's
thought that
what
was
I
a
learned.
standard, so I was like, I'm gonna blow this kid's fucking mind right now with some
Right.
fucking one or some fucking
And he
master
just
puppet.
wasn't having it.
No, he didn't dig it. He's like, I just want to jam to my church's, Amazing God or whatever, you know.
What if his church's band was way heavier, to where
Yeah,
like
right.
Metallica
It's
just
like
sounded really
obituary.
old school?
You thought that he was judging you because it wasn't soft enough, and
Right.
really he was like a hardcore metal fucking church band.
Yeah.
I love God.
I mean, I've listened to, I thought, the hardest
Norwegian,
of Christian
like,
bands.
faith metal.
I thought we were.
Yeah, faith metal. There
Norwegian
you
faith metal.
No,
Faith
no, he did.
metal.
No, he did show me one of his biggest influences. He's like, I like this guy a lot because it has a crazy solo in it, and it was really slow, it was really corny, and there's just like a fast little lick in it real quick. He's like, I want to do that.
Maybe you
Right.
need to be the guy in that kid's life that's like, dude, that sucks.
No,
Have
you know,
seen
I think they
School
sent him
Rock?
off.
School
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
with Jack Black.
Yeah, hella inspired. Yeah.
That's right. But you got to find the right kids, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not all kids are the one, should be up front. Takes a whole
music,
crew.
music is varied. You gotta have the church musicians.
I
You
played the
know.
church.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Other
exactly.
than the ridiculous.
The
belief in
gospel
a
drums are
magic
like the
man
best
that
fucking
Man,
drums
this
ever.
guy.
And
Yeah. Like if you want to learn your chops.
gospel drumming's where it's at, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to
You can
duck.
Gospel
play-
drumming's so good.
Yeah.
If you can play the way they play,
it's
you
all
can play
good.
anything.
Yeah.
You can get in that oval, that like
And it's-
groove the way
You
it's
just
they
walk
do it.
back this way.
I don't
Very
think it's
in the
always
pocket.
book
Every
stuff. It's
time
not
you
book
gotta go
smarts and
somewhere,
playing
just
music.
walk
It's about
past and to back.
soul, and just feeling it.
It's about
Mhm.
feeling and following and
There's a
leading.
standard, like
There's
a
lot of
standard
discipline in
composition.
that, though. It's more than just like, oh, we're just in here fucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking around once they work their ass off for it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Yeah.
lot of work behind the scenes.
Musicians
Sure.
have a lot of
Right.
solitude time. I don't think you can't get the best musician. Like if you're always playing with the people all the time, you got to have some solitude
Like,
time
yeah.
on
talent
honing
is
your
no
thing.
comparison to hard work. You know,
Yeah.
I really think like if you have enough drive, you can learn shit that you maybe. I mean, we all have limitations for sure. Like I'm never
Right.
gonna be.
And you create
an
sounds
NBA
with bands
basketball
too.
player,
You can.
but-
I'm not dissing on that either. Like you can create sounds playing with people all the time. But
I like being uncomfortable when I'm writing music. Slightly uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
yeah,
Trying to do something outside my normal purview.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just being
like
uncomfortable.
being told
Push
to
your
cover a
limits a
song
little bit.
and like make this cover song your own. It's kind of a weird.
Or like wear your underwear backwards.
Nah. I wear boxers, so it really would.
I did one time play a show.
I
Never.
just have a
You wouldn't
little-
have to pull your
button.
boxers down to shit. You just
I'd
spread
never
the-
practiced
spread
with
the-
this band,
the
and they
windows.
told me I was in it, and I just showed up to the show, and hey drummer, I'm in your band, and they're like, okay, cool, and I played the show, and it was a terrible show.
Yeah.
It fucking sucked, but everybody in that band sucked, to be kind of honest. Not they were good in their own individuality. I'm just saying, like they didn't sound like they practiced together. I learned on their CD, and I was trying to play like what I had heard on the CD, and
Right,
like it was
didn't
embarrassing. I
work.
told my dad, I had my dad take me to it, like I needed a ride and shit.
Right.
And I was talking up how good we were gonna be and shit. I did a jump. I was hella boring. I told this story earlier to Ryan. I did a
Oh,
jump
God.
and I fell. Tried to do my cool rock jump and I kind of stumbled backwards and fell. It was a terrible show.
Oh damn!
You got to practice.
You win for it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's good. You wanted to. You
That shit
want to
humbles you.
live.
Oh,
out.
yeah.
You don't want to freeze up.
No, yeah, and we've played shows before. I've had bad. Oh my god, there've been bad shows.
But when you start out,
Yeah.
you need to know like to go for it.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah,
It's fun.
definitely.
You only get 15 minutes up there. You know, you
Mhm.
never know when your last show is gonna be, and you only get 15 minutes. Make it count.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
You
well,
should get
people
more than
phase in and
15
out of
minutes.
bands.
It
There's-
takes more than 15 minutes.
You know the same thing about young people. You get all stoked on them, but a lot of kids too will fade out of playing music. Like, there's not too many. There are diehard people, but there are always
Right.
there's casualties of people who start bands. Like I seen the scene that came through Merced, MySpace days. There were a lot of bands in Merced who were very seen, and like they
Right.
were to me like as successful as it got on MySpace, and they're not here anymore. They got over it. They
Sure.
went to college and whatnot.
Right. Goddamn phone.
I don't know if
Yeah, I remember there's a couple. What bands do you remember that were really killing it at that time?
What was that? You remember that one band we went and tried out for, and it was really freaking weird.
Fuck.
All the names are so hard to remember now. This and us and that. A lot of those bands, they changed their
This and
names
us
like
and
3
that.
times in their
Oh,
in
yeah.
their in their in
You're
their
now
run.
going by.
They would always change it. But
Yeah.
Circle of
They say
jerks.
I say.
Oh.
They say I say was one.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, those
they
were
were 100.
good friends of mine. When they started out, they asked me to be their bass player,
Um,
and I got the vibe, and I was like, "This shit sucks."
Mhm.
But in retrospect, I wish I had done it.
Yeah, because it seemed like they had like a lot of fans. Like we went and tried out for a band here in Merced, and like it was fucking weird. They had a really low tuning. Their look was crazy.
They weren't really trying to work with us either. I think they were just trying to fucking
we
impress
needed to
us.
get on their
Yeah.
page
Yeah,
because they were the ones
playing
with
like
a
nonsense
resume.
metal. It wasn't really making any fucking sense. Their tones were terrible. It was playing some weird tuning that just way too low.
It wasn't what we were.
And-
We were
and
very
he's like,
Incubus
"Alright,
and
this is how
funk
the
at the
song
time.
goes."
It
It was
was
just a bunch of fucking noise, and it was like, all right, let's try to play it this. Instead
into
of
a Michael Jackson
really-
riff real quick, which I didn't know how to play normally, and I didn't know how to play in that one either.
Yeah,
And you know what's fucked up too? They wanted to keep you. They didn't want me. They said that they liked your style. They wanted to keep you around and shit.
Oh,
but
really?
I couldn't get it.
Drummers are way more valuable.
No, he
than
was
you-
a bass player at the
Oh.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, bass players aren't too
I
valuable.
I do want to be fair
It's pretty
though.
fucking
They
good.
say I say ruled.
Yeah,
I
they
really like that.
and they were
band.
successful.
What
it
they
looked like.
were years before that, when they started out. That's when I was like, this
They
is a
went
little
through
rickety.
change-ups. It was like I remember when they got like a new singer. It was like a big deal, and
It was huge.
yeah, and then like last thing I heard too is like they had crashed a trailer.
Ooh.
That was the last thing I heard, and I haven't. Now they're not a band. But no, everybody
Trailer
went off
can
to
put you
college.
out.
Everybody was really young, dude. It was really inspiring. Everybody was really young, and it seemed
Remember
like they
the
were
fucking
creating.
church fucking gig? What was that place called? It was here in Merced or Atwater.
Yeah.
They used to-
Trench.
The
Yeah.
trench.
Yeah.
Yep.
The trench.
The trench.
Damn.
Oh.
Pulled that out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
But
I've
yeah,
never-
the
never
churches
been
come
to
through
church.
for their youth. You know, they always have cool church events for
Right.
youth.
Listen to the children.
I
It's
mean,
good for the
I
children,
went.
man.
I went
Good
to
for
some
the
of that
children.
shit. What was it?
You don't remember that? Like the Asiago days? Yeah.
I remember the biggest band that I saw there was like a Skylit Drive.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What
And
was
they're
it?
still huge.
A
They still have.
Skylit Drive.
And I thought that was terrible. But they had the look, they had the image, and all that shit, you know. And they got a new singer,
Yeah.
and
Who's
all that.
apparently just like a super pro. But I loved their first E EP.
I don't. I just remember like them being at Mainzer, and I knew that was a big deal. Or we seen them everywhere. They were in everything, and they're from Atwater or something.
They're from Lodi.
Lodi. Yeah,
Rep
so
Lodi.
they're local. You know what I'm saying?
stuck in
And they were a
Lodi
big
again.
deal, and their name still holds water. Like
Basically
go
stuck
find them
there.
every once in a while.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, they still get a little coverage in like
But not really.
alternative press and stuff. They got out, which is
Man,
awesome.
I want to take whatever I can from them, you know, but it's just like, I think I'm just kind of too much compromise. I didn't know what it is. The look, it seemed like the look always sold a band, and then it was always a formula of
helps.
music.
It
yeah,
helps. You almost got to prove that you're a musician with the way you look. You know what I mean?
yeah, it would help, huh? If you could
But
actually-
Skylit Drive were they went all in on it.
yeah,
All of
Even
them had the look.
lights
They
and shit like
all
that.
were- yeah, but also their energy was nuts. Like their live energy was just so. I didn't even hear it as like a normal, like screamo emo act. I thought it was something that was
Was it a
way
lot of
more off the
choreographed
wall.
breakdowns and stuff like that too?
that, yeah, but also just the synths that they were using over some of like the guitar runs were just so
Generic.
Yeah,
Well,
they were
Probably
like
now.
they were generic,
Yeah.
but when you saw them live, it was like, holy shit, this
Oh,
is like
yeah.
a band that is fantastic live. I would never listen to them on a record,
No.
except for maybe their first EP for nostalgic purposes.
Yeah, and
There's a bunch
people
of
who
dude, there's a bunch of
listen all
bands
day.
that I've seen live, and I've been, oh right, sweet, I like these guys. Bought their album, went, oh,
seriously, if you wanted views, like
Yeah.
seriously, now
Yeah.
that we've had the talk, we could hashtag Skylit Drive, and you actually probably get like some fucking
yeah.
people fucking trying to seek out
Hashtag
that part
Skylit
of this
Drive.
conversation.
Dude, a Skylit Drive, come on the show. We
That'd be
want
crazy.
you are a Central
Wow.
Valley
Lodi.
band. We would love to have a Skylit Drive here.
Why don't we just hit them up?
Yeah,
Calling them out.
let's do it. Call them out.
Yeah, I mean when we were doing the
Try it
last one in Dos Palos, the last time we were doing the Valley Underground, we had all these bands from Modesto coming out there.
Mhm.
Like we hardly had any bands turn us down.
We would have 2 bands at a time.
Lots of flakes though.
For this?
For yeah, and the other one too. I remember there's they're still there. You can
We'll
go
come
watch
back.
'em. Yeah, cool. I
I
hope
want to
you
do it
guys do.
justice.
Yeah.
I feel like we have more to offer. We'll come back when we write some more shit.
Yeah, we've
Well, now that
had-
you know what's going on, you know.
Yeah,
A
we've never
repeat
really
visit
done
from
like a
one group.
podcast live studio performance kind of thing. That was new.
Yeah.
Did you do when we did the Valley Underground before? Did you play with?
I don't remember.
I think
No, I think we just hung
because
out.
right when
That
we
doesn't really
when we hung out the
It
curtain, we
counts. Oh,
tried
yeah, I
that.
count it.
That was like the last show we did then.
You don't
was
acknowledge
a
it,
2
Mark.
camera switch.
You
over.
started from number 1 in
We had 2
2017.
cameras.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was like trying to run some audio and go 2 cameras.
But
When
in-
we were doing it, our last show run back in like the first time.
Oh,
And it was
okay.
like the day we had tried a 2 camera thing was our last show.
Who?
When
Oh,
we
yeah.
did when we
The
did the
Valley
Valley
Multiple
Underground in the
angles.
old days, and whoever it did seem really organized, and we were stepping it up. But that was our last one.
Right.
That shouldn't have died.
No,
You know,
it was ahead of its
was
time then.
because of Jen and Lee. You know, and they separated.
Boom,
broke
throw
all
them
our
under the
family.
bus.
Yeah.
No,
but
but
that's what was going on.
There were
and
other
that's why
things
we,
too, like
you
our
know,
whole
we
party
couldn't-
crowd. They kind of grow up. Like it's so funny, dude. The people who told me to take my shirt off, like they are so like clean cut now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like kids and shit like that. You know?
Oh yeah.
People
It gets
grow up.
worse. Then you get old, and then you see your friends, and you're like, "Oh, you look old."
You know, I
I look
told
old.
Michelle. I said I was like really close. I was like, I could stop playing. I think I if I said the things that I've done, I could pretty much die with that. You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could hang this up, but she said like, no, like you got to show your kids that you how to do it, or like that you do it, kind of
Right.
thing. Still, so I was like, okay, another.
So you guys talking
another
about kids then, huh?
Dude, almost 10 years now, huh?
Yeah. It's about time.
Almost, huh? But I'm selfish with the music and all the other stuff, but
Yeah.
it'd be cool. I use little kids in my movies all the time, my brother and all that, so it'd be cool to exploit
Have
my
my
kids
own
at a
minions,
very early age, exploit my own children.
Yeah, I've done a few.
Yeah.
things
Like Bat
with
Dad.
kids. They love it.
Like when I babysat one of my I've already done these things, but like my niece or cousin, she came over. It's like,
Right.
oh shit. Well, what happens when she goes? When Nathan babysits her, I make her look like a possessed child on the internet with Ouija
awesome.
boards and shit like that.
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. That's great.
I like that. That's the kind of influence I want to put on my
I have baby
nieces and
pictures
nephews.
of my son, and he's got like, he's holding a gun, and the city behind him's all fucking destroyed and shit.
Yeah,
You know, like, yeah, I gotta. I don't know. That's the one I can.
Those
think
are good
of right off
influences.
but I did a couple of them like
Makes
that.
personality.
Photoshop, just crazy.
it's character.
Yeah, yeah. Well, his mom loved it, shoot. So that's how I'd make them and send them to his mom. She sent me a picture. Oh, look, here's Jason. So I'd Photoshop it all crazy and send it back to her.
That fell out.
What?
On that.
Oh.
Oh,
Sound effects? You guys need sound effects.
Huh?
Sound effect.
You guys
Yeah,
need
we
sound
don't.
effects.
No, Chris wants to do sound effects and shit, but I'm like, no, denied. It would
Like,
just,
come on, dude.
yeah, it's not like we're a Chip Chipperson or anything.
Hey, come on, settle down, everybody.
Yeah, settle down.
Sorry.
Settle down.
That was great.
Everybody's a critic.
What'd you
Apps, man.
Just
Apps.
apps,
There's an
man.
app for
Apps.
everything.
Oh, so you can get like studio
No,
sounds and stuff.
I straights like I need a fart sound, and I could find one fart sound through an app, but you could probably find an app with an assortment of fart
You need a
sounds.
fart sound? Get that.
Sometimes I
Let's
do need
record
some.
one.
I want to see if there's a fart sound app.
Oh, dude, fart sound app? I mean, there's got to be.
Oops.
I have a theory
nice.
that that might be the first funny thing to ever happen on Earth.
Yeah.
What?
The
A fart?
Yeah, like when we were, you know,
You think like as
Scavenger
soon as
hunter-
something farted, the other thing went.
in my mind, I picture like two cavemen walking along, like two Neanderthals, you know, walking along, and shit sucks. They're baking in the sun. They're starving. They can't find food. They're just fucking scrounging.
Right.
And then one of them fucking rips ass, and they like stop and look at each other and just start laughing.
Cheeks blowing, dust flew. Because like they probably always just pass gas, but like that one made that noise.
So
it was
no
a
matter how
tune of
terrible
joke.
life is, fart might still be funny.
Nah, they're probably digging into a fat fucking antelope or something. They're just all
When they were stoked.
and it pushes on the antelope and it
Can
farts.
you like be mad when you fart?
Oh yeah.
Like, can
especially
you stay mad? You're like,
especially
yeah, I
if
take that
it's
back.
not dry.
you can
You're
stay
like,
mad
"Damn,
after you
it's
fart.
gonna itch when it dries.
Like if it's a really good one.
I try to ask that every once in a while. When fart talk comes up, it seems to come up. I go, "When's the last time you shit yourself?" And apparently, everybody doesn't shit themselves. I thought, like, even as adults, you still shit yourself every
No,
once in a
man,
while.
that's not normal.
Well,
What?
I think
Really?
my last time came from
I've
trying to
never shit
fart on
myself as an
somebody.
adult.
I was trying to fart on
Oh,
somebody
man.
and
I'm
squirted
proud to say
myself.
that.
Yeah,
But
just
I was
wait,
like-
give us some time. Give us some time. Shit happens, man.
You'd have like, I
Have you
thought
shit in your
everybody
car
had
before?
one.
Apparently, that's a thing.
What's
Shit
that?
in the car?
They're like getting stuck in traffic and like.
Nah.
Doesn't
Let
know.
a little
man.
coffee run.
I've just had an out of control fart
In your-
before.
fucking had to rush home, and I'm like, and I fucking hop out the car, and I'm just like, oh god, and then a little bit came out. So
Oh,
And
you
once
got out
it's
lucky.
there a little bit, you're just pissed. You're just
Whoa.
like, fuck.
We got.
I know.
Did that Mike
Shower
pick that
time now.
story up?
What?
The story about Adrian almost pooping his pants.
No. No, there's no way. Yeah.
We gotta give you
Adrian's
a
poop
mic.
story is gonna go unheard. It was us. It's private.
Got it up here though.
In the memory bank.
You need a couch mic, dude.
We do need a
that's
couch mic. I mean, it's possible too.
I have to.
But maybe you can like control it on your little mouse there. Like,
Yeah.
turn it off.
You can hear it pretty well. Like you hear whenever he talks, whenever you watch the other podcasts.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit. Well, he has a mic in front of him. Yeah. So
I do.
yeah, Chris got a mic. We just don't have. I mean, I didn't have a couch cam, so I didn't put a couch mic.
Couch cam.
Yeah.
This looks like it could be like an Iraqi bunker, like an underground.
Yeah.
Oh, with the maps and shit, especially
Yeah,
selling it.
exactly.
Yep. We're
Very
planning
secret.
our
And smoke in the
attack.
room.
You're at 19
Yeah.
and 3/4. You don't know what's going down.
Dude, I'm
Two
so
TVs,
stoked
I
at
don't
the
know, this is
idea of
suspect.
couch cam.
This is
Couch
such,
cam.
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Oh,
audio
you want
equipment here.
I'm
There's a lot
stoked
of
at that.
interrogation lights
The,
around
even
here.
the idea of
What's
it.
going on here?
Well, we got 2 more cameras, so we
Yeah.
can work them in.
And then nobody will get away with the fucking whisper. We'll get everything. No secrets will be
Oh
a
yeah.
secret here.
There's no secrets here anyway.
No story
no
will go
offense.
untold.
Uh-huh. I had one time on tour where I was like, it was late at night, and I let one rip, and I was like, and we had just got off of a stop.
Are you
and I
bringing
was
up
like,
old shit?
Oh, when you're eating road food,
I'm using
those
puns
farts
now.
are fucking
Yeah, old shit.
bad.
Cars.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah, totally. And I was like, hey guys, I was just trying to be calm. I was like, hey, you know, I just need to take a shit, and I kept it real. But the entire time in the car, I just was like sitting on the edge of my seat, like.
Trying to be respectful to the bros.
No, I definitely, I just farted, but I definitely thought I felt like a shart in the van.
Start stinking.
wow.
I just.
That's way to ruin the
It's a
fucking
bonding
vibe of
experience. If you
the
can get
tour.
through that shit for reals, it's a bonding experience. One thing
Yeah.
I've always found myself in what I felt were more uncomfortable things and making it through with other people, or I don't know, people tell you it's okay. We all shit our
Go
pants,
ahead.
you know. It's a bonding
Fart in the van.
experience.
Yeah, I think that the camaraderie was definitely there.
Mhm.
But then again, you
are you
just
still talking
open
about
yourself
farts?
for being roasted, man.
In the bands, it's band talk. Yeah.
Mhm.
Not a whole lot of bands like from my old days. We used to ride as a band all the time. Everywhere we went, we were in a band. But then I've seen other bands, and my other bands that I was in, we ought to take separate cars. You miss out on camaraderie from the post shows. After you play a show and you get in the car and you're talking shit about yourselves or fucking how sick you were. If you take separate cars, you don't get to have that talking the fart stories and shit.
Mhm.
I always
It's
encourage
camaraderie.
bands to
It's
play
our Boy
hacky sack.
Scouts, you know. It's our football team that we didn't have.
Yep.
True.
Band hacky sack. Teamwork.
Yeah, you could call it a team. Like the term band is kind of old school, like a band of people, a group of people. Like there's
Right.
group has been used,
You should call it a gang.
a gang.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
s- yeah. some
Tribe.
cred.
That's probably how Tribe Called
Tribe.
Quest got their
Mhm.
name. You know, trying to think of a different way to refer to themselves.
Maybe Tribin.
Right. yeah.
I'm just thinking about how important that ride is. Yeah, because oftentimes you have like one member selling merch, and then like another member like trying to take photos of the next band, and someone else has to like
you
step
want to know what people were
outside.
telling them and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You all come together and like, that was weird. That was awesome. This guy
Right.
said this.
Did you see that guy?
you see that guy?
Our old
First
band
row
was great.
sucked.
Like it was such a family dynamic. We fucking ate together, and like everybody in my head had like mom and dad, brother, sister kind of roles and shit like that. And even when we'd get new people, it's like it just filled in the family role still. And it's crazy because other bands haven't been like that, you know. And band members are just as disposable too as fucking you are at work sometimes, you know.
Oh yeah. Well,
Wow,
the singer.
yeah.
It's always, it's hard to replace a singer.
It can be.
You can pretty much replace anyone but
Yeah.
the singer.
Yeah, especially if that name's on the front.
Drummer's pretty. I don't know. It changes. It'll always change.
But then again, it's
Except the
also
Spinal
like,
Tap joke is the drummer. Like they always had a different drummer. There was never the same drummer the whole
Yeah.
movie.
yeah, because who cares?
That's funny.
So that as a drummer, you just
What do you
you're
play?
the backbone. I'm the drums.
He's like,
What
I
do
need
you
to
play?
know
Drums.
what. Okay,
Drummer.
it's like okay.
Yeah.
Enough away.
Duncan's the drummer.
Yeah, dude. Then again, some things happen, and it's like, oh, there really are no rules, like Black Sabbath,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Black Flag. Whoa, weird coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lots of things black.
Uh-huh.
Black art.
They got a new singer. He went from Keith Morris to Henry Rollins, and they're good.
And he was still
Black
in the band
Sabbath
though, huh?
though, like
Mhm.
who is it? Dio.
Dio, yeah.
Right. I like Dio.
That
but
was
I
the
didn't
most
like
metal,
Dio
like
with Black
call
Sabbath.
I've ever heard. When
I
it's-
liked Ozzy
You,
with
you
Black
whisper
Sabbath.
Dio, and you hear the masses of people like fucking Dio.
They come awake. Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
shit.
Nah.
That's power right there.
I
man.
like Dio
That's
with
crazy.
Rainbow.
Just speaking the name.
Man on a Silver Mountain, shit like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like Dio.
Old school, really?
I don't know. I don't know.
With that
But
said,
I'm fucking
with you.
stoked. Like, and now I want to watch Dio. It's like I'm just what? The fuck's about this?
Yeah, I got to
Oh,
see
yeah.
him not too long before he died.
No shit.
Yeah, with that Heaven and Hell, his band.
Oh
Heaven and
yeah,
Hell.
no, that
Yeah.
was Black Sabbath, right? Wasn't it? Kinda-
Yeah,
what-
but it was a different iteration of it. It was like the same members. It was Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler and
But the drummer of Rage Against the Machine.
the drummer. It was some other dude. He had the drums that like. He had toms on these rack things that fold out. Like he hits it and it.
You know what? You know,
Yeah.
sort of one
It's like
time we
this
did have a
weird
drum
fucking weirdo.
audition. Kinda like right before Ryan was the drummer in Asiago, we were holding drum auditions,
Yeah.
and it was funny. We had this guy come, and he brought the fucking badass drum set, big old fucking flame. I mean, I don't even want to be too descriptive.
We
'cause
thought
it's
this
too
guy was
local.
gonna kill it.
Fucking
Yeah.
cymbals, fucking galore. You know, purred
Right.
all the way around. It took a long time to set that up. We played one song, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll fucking
We'll give you a
call
call.
you." And while we were tearing down, it's a very positive talk. Like, "Oh yeah, no, you're rocking it. I could tell you practiced. I could tell you practiced."
Right.
And he's putting his shit away, but it took forever to set that shit up, and then just like one
he just
song and
Take
tore
your
it
time.
down.
Yeah, and he wasn't good.
It wasn't us, but I mean, he had a flame drum set, so I mean,
Yeah.
Same
cymbals
drum set.
and flames like
Yeah, we
some
had
It wasn't
this
flames, I
motherfucker.
don't think.
We had this guy that had like this badass
Mhm.
basement to practice in and a nice ass drum set. You know, we went over there and talked to him and gave him some recordings of songs. You know, we're like all stoked and shit. You know, gave him a couple days to learn the song, and we go over there and we're like trying to play, and he goes, "Well, what do you want me to do?" We're like, "Dude, we gave you the songs. You didn't listen to them." Well, yeah, but it's like, well, do something like that, you know? And he couldn't play.
Oh, but he had this shit though,
Dude, it was crazy.
and you still had to keep him in the band because you wanted to practice there.
Isn't that weird though? Like,
No,
why do
we-
people want to do that?
No, we left.
Go and put themselves in
Yeah.
that situation where they know they can't fill the part.
Right. Yeah.
I would be
think-
so fucking embarrassed.
I don't think they know. I don't think that they know what preparation is sometimes needed.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
You want to get into it and you want to do it right. So sometimes you just go and ball out.
It's
and
like, I
then-
want to underground fight with you guys. And it's like, dude, have you ever trained?
right.
No, but anybody can do it though, right? Well, yeah. I mean,
you just
Take
just
try
don't
to-
talk about it.
you just hit somebody and then you
It's the only rule.
try to not get hit.
The only rules don't talk about Fight Club. So,
Right.
Mhm.
guess you're in.
Well, how can you talk about Fight Club?
If you
if
know the
can't
rule,
talk
are you
Now
about
to
Fight
think about it, this would actually be like a great fucking Fight Club arena as well too.
Really? Just
Just a reenactment.
put everything against the walls and Kimbo
Throw it
versus
out.
Ganon 3.
One door in and out, like that's it.
Valley Underground
Oh,
Dojo.
Kimbo died.
Valley Underground
Oh,
Dojo.
I know that's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Wait,
He
who
he
died?
showed me a really funny. We're talking about the
Valley
whole
Underground
storytelling and the
fights.
Kimbo story. That was
Kimbo.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to replay that
No.
on here, though.
What? Kimbo
If
story?
it's all that full circle though, because we was talking about stop animation. We talked stop animation here. You say Kimbo Slice, and then we had watched stop animation before he came here.
Yeah.
Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
Well, letting you into our world. See-
Well, we were talking about Kimbo last night.
oh yeah.
Yeah. We were watching UFC, so
Dude,
of course.
The beginning
Kimbo's
of
gonna come up.
YouTube, the Kimbo shit was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
When the first Kimbo videos were coming out,
Mhm, those
like you
backyard
just
brawls.
keep seeing the same like one kept getting plastered over and over. I don't
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
know. It's reminiscent of how VHSs would get passed down and stuff, or
Right.
cassette tapes.
All right. How you doing over there, Chris? Feeling
It's
it?
been 3 hours yet?
Feeling it?
3 hours.
You're like,
We're
Bop,
on track.
bop, bop.
You're like,
Marathon.
Nation.
It's been 3 hours?
no. Well, I mean,
That's
you
my
guys have
contract,
been here
so-
Oh, we've done a, what is it? This is like a Shrek. A Shrek is
Shrek.
90 minutes.
90 minutes
Uh-huh.
worth of Shrek.
Yeah.
We can wrap it up. If you,
One Shrek.
I mean, you guys want to wrap
One
it up?
Shrek,
or-
two
that's
Shrek.
Another
Yeah.
Shrek reference. You were showing me a video.
All right,
earlier.
we'll wrap
Right,
it
that's
up
what I'm
then.
telling you, dude. The universe is coincidence, and we're gonna wrap it
Started
up
along.
on the universe's coincidences are all there for a reason.
You're going to wrap up Mark's show?
Fragile, everything is connected.
Everything is connected.
Thank you for having us today, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for coming, dude. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
That was great.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we should do it again for sure.
Sun kisses and the cancer kills.